Hello and welcome everyone back to NASA. We're here in week 7 finally after a long, prolonged week 6. Here with Sloth, and we got a great game in our hands. We got Woe Chills, who is still able to make the playoffs despite their record, and Flying Blobos, who are coming off a 2-game win streak. How are you feeling, Sloth? And what are you looking for today?
I mean, I'm feeling great. Always getting to see some good Omega Striker gameplay. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm mainly excited to see how if Chills is going to be able to keep up the technicality of being able to make it into playoffs. Right, not a great start to the season, but they have their chances, and today very crucial game for them to find those opportunities to find that win. So excited, and also excited for the first game as we're going to Gates.
Yeah, Gates of Obscura. I know I saw Flying Blobos play this last week, and I think they feel, especially Fireman, feels really comfortable on this map. I've played with him a good amount on the map. So I think that is a strong pick for them, and it was actually Woe Chill's pick, which will make for an interesting setup. But then the rest of the map pool, Night Market and Atlab, pretty standard for what you see. But for this first map, we already have the character drafts coming through, and I think some really interesting things to see.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, the highlights in my eyes is just the awakening starts that are gonna influence the picks already, and they did influence the picks, right? You have a Chrono Boost and a Monumentalist start, and that directly resulted in that pickup for the Octavia for Firemadin, in that now pickup for Spartan. So a lot of strong picks going their way, but immediately also being answered, right? Hamster Quest on that era has a Monumentalist, and Cakes being able to Chrono Boost Mako, just really making this game just very fast-paced. And fast-paced we start as well, as 2 barriers fall immediately.
Yeah, quick. Spartan able to save that out of the corner. They get it ahead to Alphemy. They're going to try to really use these portals to their advantage. I think that's what Flying Blobos did so well last week. But a mix-up from Lolmau gets it around Spartan, and the first goal goes over to the side of Woe Chills.
Yeah, just really making good use of that immediate speed pressure that comp has with that Mako, with that era. Just going through the defense from Spartan pretty swiftly. Really well executed from the side of Woe Chills.
Yeah, I feel like all of the Awakening picks are kind of bis for the characters. Just influence so much here. As Lolmau tries to get into the corner, that's just going to be really important for the Rasmus. Keeping it in that corner, those pendulum swings are so hard to deal with. And that's time, with the ultimate, mixes up Spartan. They get it ahead to Alphemy, and now they're going to really need to capitalize on this. They get it out quickly. Cakes gets it ahead, holding down the Chrono Boost secondary. They have the speed. NATO comes in, and the pendulum swing from Lolmau takes out Spartan, gets the second goal, and already level 3 on the Rasmus, just dominating the offense so far.
The snowball has begun with the XP and the points. A pretty clear 2-0 as we're going almost. I mean, there's a potential end to the set ahead already if they get the attack rolling, as they already have been. A first barrier has been dropped as well, but this time around Flying Blobos now answering with a barrier on their own, as both teams are down 1 barrier. Octavia is online with the speed, but cannot get another touch on the core, and is going to lose that speed as well, sadly. They do still have 2 flips to work with, though, if they would like to use them. Maybe they're going to try to hold on to them, because they have a pretty high uphill battle to still fight. Use both of them in the end, though, and Cakes defends it successfully still, though.
Yeah, now completely out of energy. Flow state up now, and they're going to have to get some value after that, out of that. Fireman pushing into the corner, and it's the primary from Alphemy that gets it. Coming down now, hooked away by Lolmau, and he gets the barrier. Spartan a bit of a misstrike there. Gonna see if they can keep this set alive, but especially if Octavia can't get a good draft position, it's gonna be really hard for them to scale. Uses the ultimate, but still no flow state. Game slows down now. Cakes in the corner, gets it ahead to Hamster Quest, who wins the interaction. Fireman now has the secondary. Great flip from Spartan, keeps it alive. Alphemy looking to push, but Fireman, it looks like it's gonna get out, and now that might be it for their offense.
Forest just flying around from both sides, both teams trying to get a proper setup going, but it's just going to be so difficult on a map as open as Gates, with so many opportunities with the portal play and everything. You can see Lolmau here trying to go for some cheeky plays as well, not quite able to realize it though, as now Flow State is going live against Firemadin, but doesn't even need it as Alphemy wins the strike war in front of net, goes through Hamster Quest, and gives the first goal to the side of Flying Blobos.
Yeah, I think they needed that. Fireman was a level behind for a little bit of that, and picking last as Octavia in that first draft would have been brutal. But a great kickoff from Spartan there, gets it ahead, and Fireman finds the second one. The ultimate almost gets it. No flow state yet, but Spartan with a safe clear gets it ahead. And Hamster Quest now going to try to push into this corner once you have that ult up with the Monumentalist on Era. That's going to be a really consistent way to push it into that corner. But they don't have it yet. Gets it down, and now 3 flips on the side of Wochill. So if they use their resources correctly here, they could get this 3rd point and get the first set. They get it ahead to Alphamy, who's pushing in. The pass splitter burns 2 flips and gets the point, and now we're going to a 0.5 in this set.
That Monumentalist on that ultimate just really holding so much value. Cakes barely having any clear angle and not being able to get the core out there allowed them to get that 2nd goal. And now we are looking at still at a pretty fast-paced game, but I mainly want to point out that Flying Blobos essentially has 2 flips, right? Firemiden has his already. Alphamy is about 1 or 2 strikes away from it. They find 1 barrier. Flip doesn't quite connect with the pass there, as now the offense from Wochills is starting, but they're taking so much damage as now Lamau is down to being staggered. Hamster Quest doesn't have any HP left either, nor does he have any evades, so they're trying to get an attack going here. Find a barrier as well, fortunately, and find a KO, more importantly.
Yeah, Spartan has the flip, likely going to have to use it defensively on this power play, but he misses it. An unfortunate error there. We'll see if they can hold this corner and wait for Alphamy to get back. They're passing back and forth, but Spartan times to strike well. Hamster Quest dribbling now. Fireman with the ult isn't able to quite find the kill, but they're still holding on. The primary gets it through. The flow state is up now, but it gets around him. Spartan saves it with the primary. Another Strike War 1, and Lolmau has been staggered forever, and they finally find the kill. This might be their chance to get the power play. Fireman pushing ahead, low on health, but has enough energy to hopefully stay alive, but a Strike War win into the bottom corner. Actually, that was Spartan with the primary or the secondary. I don't know how it got down there, but what a set comeback from Flying Blobos.
I'm not even sure if that was a Strike War win or if that was just Hamster Quest trying to backpass 2 Cakes and Cakes not reading it correctly. That is a unfortunate backpass that finished up the first set, but we do have a few awakenings in here that hold a lot of value. The Twin Drive, obviously great for Spartan here, even more speed ups, even more heals for the side of Flying Blobos now. Size finding its way onto Alphamy as well, definitely going to make it a lot easier for this Asher to force her way through. And the aerials go falling all the way down to Firemiden. Definitely something that an Octavia is going to be very happy about as well.
Yeah, I think picking last on Octavia and still being able to get that is a big win for Flying Blobos there, yeah. The back pass confused Cakes and it confused me as well, but I see now what happened, and that's an unfortunate way to get reverse swept in that set, as now we go in here. Fireman still keeping that flow state up basically this whole point, and charges in, able to get it. That aerials and the chrono boost just giving so much value. Still pushing in the corner, and they just can't keep it away from him. Finds the 2nd barrier. They get it away now, and finally the flow state will go down, but at the cost of both of their barriers, and they find the KO in the corner. Now if they can get it ahead to Alphamy, they might have their 4th point in a row here. The secondary sends it backwards, unfortunately. Still holding on, and Cakes trying to disrupt with those primaries, but Alphamy into the corner almost gets it, but not quite. Now it resets, but the flow state is back up.
Not quite in the end, but they do find the score now with a nice flip, taking the Cakes off the map as well, getting the pressure out. And they still have the flip on Firemiden as well, so they definitely do have tools to work with on the offense here, as the side of Wochills, all pretty low in energy, having to use it on evades or having lost that energy due to dying. But talking about dying, Firemiden taken off the map completely. I didn't even see what that was.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell either, but had a full energy bar and goes down, and that's going to be a big swing here. Pushing to the corner for Lolmau. Not quite able to get it, but Case gets it back down. They're working on the portal side, which is not always what you want to do, but it does make for the shorter side. Fireman with the ult, just they can't defend that. Sends it ahead to Alphamy, but the speed with the chrono boost on Lolmau. They find it into the corner. This NATO might wreak havoc, but they were able to get the core out. Spartan doing a great job on this now. The Monumentalist helping a lot. Through the portal to Alphamy now. The pass splitter once again with the Monumentalist, but they don't quite get it. The flow state staying up. And now pushing ahead and just runs Cakes down, wins with the primary, and he didn't use flip, and that's 5 points in a row for Flying Blobos.
And the momentum has just fully shifted at this point. The start of the game seemed very Wochill-sided, but Flying Blobos have just found their groove. They have found their scores. And the Octavia is just going to get more and more online as the game progresses. The flip still available to Firemiden as well, as one comes out from Cakes to defend there, going through portal here. Hamster Quest trying to get an attack going, but it just doesn't really connect to anything, as the defense now falls. A nice angle, though, takes both barriers away from Spartan, and Lamau now in front of the barrier. Not the barrier, the goal, finding a score as well. Doesn't even have to use the flip to realize that goal.
Yeah, huge energy swing there as Fireman whipped his, and both Hamster Quest and Lolamau were able to keep theirs. So the first point of this game, they found a double just like that, and it was a recipe for success once again as Alphamy pushes into the corner. And I think these Monumentalist path splitters have been so hard for this team to deal with, but that's a Monumentalist. Aaron Nato gets the power play, and now Wochills has a chance to turn it back around again.
They have the opportunity to get an attack going, but Pharmidon doing everything in his power to keep the attack going. Actually, a negative power play in the end for Wochills as they lose the barrier, and a clean portal pass to Pharmidon is going to score and secure the second set for Flying Blobbos.
Yeah, roles kind of reversed there for Alphamy. Used the primary to get it ahead to his Octavia, who finds it again. Not picking first, but picking third here. And what do you see for how this Octavia might be able to scale once again?
There's a decent amount of stuff that is going to be nice for the Octavia. I feel like the Egoist mainly is going to give that extra speed, give that extra evades as well, and that was agreed upon by Cakes by picking that up for himself. Obviously, Cakes having a Catalyst as well. Explosive Interest still very much being an awakening, though, that Octavia is going to be happy about. So just even more of a threat now, as Octavia already was before. So it's going to be more difficult to play for the side of Wochills. And not just this draft is the issue, right? If Wochills is wanting to look to find a win in this game, at this point you're guaranteed to have to go to 5 sets. That means there's, even if you find the set wins, at least 2 more drafts where an Octavia can pick up something great, which is definitely a concern in the long run. But for now, they need to focus to find this first goal of the set, and they do that very cleanly as Lolamau, with a nice pendulum swing setup, pushes it past Spartan.
Yeah, great job there. The size going on the Rasmus is important, and also Hamster Quest now with Monumentalist and Extra Special. You can set up those NATOs so much more consistently, which could be somewhat of a win condition. You also have the Catalyst Egoist on Cakes, which is a little bit weird for a Mako goalie, but it's still always such a strong combination. First NATO from Hamster Quest doesn't get any value there, and now Fireman pushing into the corner. A great clear from Cakes, finds it all the way around and gets a barrier. Great use out of the energy he's getting from those, and they have one on their side. Alphamy pushing into the corner now, finds the first barrier, and Fireman with the ult trying to push Lolamau out. The Mako cage holds that all the way through, but they get it eventually. Another flip used. Spartan has his defensively, but they don't get it to him yet. Fireman pushing into the corner, and well-timed strikes on the side of Flying Blobbos. They're just always in control. Vertical NATO doesn't find anything, but another flip, but Lolamau answers it quickly. Great strike timing. Both goals open now, and we're nearing overtime. Lolamau in danger of being KO'd as Alphamy's posturing for it, but doesn't quite find it yet. The NATO doesn't get any value there, and they're pushing it ahead. Whiffed flip. So now no one with much of energy at all except for Hamster Quest.
Yeah, Alphamy, they're using a lot of cooldowns trying to find the KO on Lolamau, but not quite able to realize it. Not really great for them as those cooldowns are gone now, but the attack still goes. It's 2 open goals, and both Now and Mako, they do have tools to make use of to assist in the offense, but obviously it's rather difficult to do. And you know what's more difficult? To defend against an attack when you have an Asher in your face, dashing on top of you, primering on top of you. Cakes not really having a chance to react to that shot.
Yeah, Asher just has everything right now. We talked about those huge ultimates coming through, but also the Knife's Edge and the Demolitionist, just size, speed, so difficult to deal with, and Alphamy is doing a great job punishing in those corners. Fireman now backed into a corner, but is able to keep the flow state up, uses the primary on the goalie to do it again, and they find one. Trying to find the KO on Cakes, but a little bit too healthy, and does give him flip because of that Egoist and the Catalyst. Pushing in now with the pass splitter and sends it right through. Just too much to deal with. Fireman kept the flow state up, and they get here to match point.
It is Firemidon's world. You saw that in that last point, just running around on that Octavia with that speed, applying so much pressure. Another barrier drops again on the side of Wochills as they answer one immediately right back, though. Now Spartan has to flip to defend this. It goes through the portal, and attack potentially being set up here as Cakes doesn't get the strike in right just in time. They are 1 goal away from taking this first game, and Wochills needs to find something to keep this game alive.
Yeah, Fireman just all the speed in the world with 3 Dash Awakenings. Now pushing in with the ult, but it unfortunately got just behind him, so it sends it backwards. Still holding the corner. Spartan and Fireman have been doing a great job layering those strikes, and now they find a KO. This could be their chance to get the last point that they need. Fireman just keeping that flow state up, and Alphamy doesn't even need to use the burst, just wins the strike war. 3-0 map win for Flying Blobbos, and I think that went just about as well as they could have hoped on Wochill's pick.
That went exceptionally well for them, right? Because that is a map that you're not necessarily... it's not your map pick, right? So inherently you're not going to be expected to be as dominant as they were on this map, but they had a really great showing. They had awakenings like the Chrono Boost at the Monumentalist start and just made great use of them, right? With that Octavia pick, with that Now pick, being so oppressive, not allowing Woe Chills any real nice setups, just being so interruptive. And again, Firemiden, I feel like he was doing so much in that game, with that speed, with that presence all over the map, which is also represented by the fact that he had most redirects.
Yeah, most redirects, almost the most damage, at least more damage than the other forwards, except for Alphemy. And yeah, 4 goals by himself, I think, just took over that game. It was more of a scaling pick, but he was ready right out of the gate to dominate that one. So great job by Flying Blobos. And we'll see what Woe Chills can do to respond as we head to the second map, which is going to be Flying Blobos' pick. And we will be on Night Market for that second game.
Night Market will be interesting. I feel like there's, again, a lot of potential for picks that can work out well with the right awakenings, right? You do have, like, an Octavia could even be played on Night Market if you do have the right circumstances. So it might be something that they need to look out for. And again, Night Market with that speed gate in the middle as well, just really rewarding the team that can make use of that speed gate so much. So it's going to come down to how well Woe Chills is also going to be able to play around that speed gate, or if Flying Blobos, with that being their map pick, is going to have maybe a little bit of a home court advantage on there, using and abusing that gate in the middle.
Yeah, and I think Alphemy, again, has a Julie, has an Asher, has a Zen, really strong on this map. Fireman not as known for the Octavia, more known for the Kai and the Now, which got banned and picked in that last game. So I think it was interesting. They picked Now first, probably for Fireman, but they ended up flexing it because of the Chrono Boost there. So just showing some of their versatility, which maybe they didn't have as much earlier in the season. Flying Blobos doing a great job in the draft there. And I think for me, Spartan, I've known more as like a Mako, just generally melee goalie player, but looked extremely comfortable on the Now there. And yeah, they did a great job. I think they have a lot of ways to play now, and it's going to make it difficult for Woe Chills to try to draft against them here.
Yeah, most definitely. And what's also going to make it difficult is the starting awakenings on Night Market as we're now going into that draft. Spark of Agility and, more importantly, Perfect Form being on the board. So I feel like there's quite a few high-value striker picks that need to be looked at here. Perfect Form obviously being a great awakening for someone like a Zentaro, but definitely great for an Asher pickup as well. And honestly, a lot of the roster just amplified so much if they have that funny little diamond in their awakenings. So we'll see what the teams are going to prio here. Woe Chills being on that blue side, having that first ban and that first pick. I do wonder what they're going to opt to get in that first pick slot as well. Do you have anything you could mayhaps predict, Weston?
Yeah, I don't know as much about Lolamau as far as Zentaro, because obviously when you see Perfect Form, that's kind of where you go, and he's a strong pick on Night Market. But really, like all of the brawlers, you have an X. We saw Rasmus the last game, who's not the best user of it, but I think is Lolamau's most comfortable pick. So yeah, I think the brawler pick is really interesting here. But because you have so many options, you might not go for it first. But the Now gets banned out, which makes a lot of sense. Flying Blobos looks like they have 2 players who are really comfortable with it, both in the goalie and the midfield roles. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think the brawler picks, especially just because Perfect Form is good on so many who are good on this map, and that makes it interesting. Estelle Band is not something I was expecting necessarily, but is a good user of it.
Yeah, I feel like Estelle just being an overall like solid pick on this map, being able to control that with midfield so much with her range, with her dashes as well, and even potentially being able to be flexed into goalie. Not sure if that's being played more here, if this is like an EU thing, but banned away either way. So we can see the draft has gone deeper so far though, and the Amy pickup for the first pick for Woe Chills, leaving that Zentaro open though for Flying Blobos, and a Zentaro in Perfect Form, I'd be worried.
Yeah, Zentaro and Kai, which I would say are probably Alphemy and Fire Madden's most infamous picks. So the fact they were able to get those in the second and third spots really strong for them. I think once you see that, you really have to start thinking about, can we kill this Kai consistently? You have to start looking for damage, because otherwise just going to be able to take over on Night Market. They go for the Juno, which will, I assume, be on Cake, so that will be Amy in the midfield. And with Perfect Form, that's a great pickup to get. Curious what they're going to go for this third pick. Like I said, the Brawler, you have so many options with this. And I think because they have the Kai, you really have to go for damage, and they do go for the X. So a lot of damage potential on the side of Wochills, but Flying Blobba's got comfort in both of those positions, and they go for Atlas for the third pick, who also a great Perfect Form user, and Spartan is really comfortable on.
Great Perfect Form user, and also just a great pick into the offensive line of Amy and X, right? Amy with that turret being rather annoying, X having so much solid force as well with his ultimate strike resets and everything. So definitely a strong pickup here. And as you said as well, if Wochills has to play for that Kai KO, Atlas is going to help even more to keep him alive, to keep him in the game, trying to deny that KO win con as much as possible. And I personally am just excited to see how much Zentaro is going to be able to do. Perfect Form Zentaro is a menace overall. We'll see if maybe he's going to be strong enough to even push for some solo kills, perhaps, or he's just going to make use of his 0 cooldowns and just force it through the defensive line of that Juno goalie. Because Juno, not good defensively, but not as solid of a wall like an Atlas.
And I think also you see in the midfield, Kai be picked as sort of a counter for Juno, just especially the barrage beats the slimes so consistently. And I think that'll be a factor when the Juno's on goalie as well. Just a really strong pick into that. So I like both team comps, but I think Flying Blobba's just got so much comfort and 3 great Perfect Form users. I am interested to see if anyone goes for the Spark, because if you're the only one with it, that puts so much pressure on the other team in the draft. But it might just be the case that Perfect Form is too strong to pass up for anyone here.
Yeah, it would be difficult for me to imagine any of these characters really preferring that potential for Spark stacks over the guaranteed value that a Perfect Form can bring. I feel like at most it might be Kai, but even then it's already a reach. So fully going into this game expecting 6 Perfect Forms. Spark is going to go back into the draft, so who knows? Maybe they can pick it up at a later point. But I feel like with that starting get up, Perfect Form should be widespread. And no, Firemadin actually opting to go for that Spark of Agility. So definitely something to consider for the side of Wochills whenever going into draft, that maybe Sparks do hold some prior for them.
Yeah, and I think especially because we talked about the game plan likely is going to be to KO Kai. Whenever that Spark of Resilience shows up, that's going to be a really important pick if Fireman's able to get it. But as we start here, Wochills able to get the first barrier. Not doing too much damage yet, but Spartan pushing ahead. Tries to get it to Alphamy. The Bell Ringer going to get some more cooldowns, but great defense so far from Wochills. A little scary as it stays in the middle there, but no barriers found. Hamster Quest now loses the strike board, loses the interaction, so Fireman's able to get that second one up, but they have their first KO. This is their plan. They're getting to it early as they find the power play on Alphamy, and now we'll see if they can convert this power play.
They got a first barrier off of it, but more importantly, they got Firemadin down to low HP as well. The Atlas Ultimate having to be used there for him to stay alive, as now the core is bouncing back and forth, trying to get an attack going. Lolamau also rather low. Might have to be careful around Alphamy and Firemadin here, as they are going to dump more damage, but the attack actually is being set off. Cakes has a flip available for the defensive end. Lolamau being able to evade out of that Zentaro ultimate, fortunately, but not being able to stay on the map much longer as Alphamy found the KO.
Yeah, and interestingly, you have Mag Souls on all 4 forwards here, which I think is going to help them try to stay alive in the midfield. When you have damage on you, you can just run around that midfield line, try to get away from them. Not able to convert the power play, neither team so far, but Fireman with the Giga Blast, right as his teammate goes down, pulls that point out. Pretty much everyone holding flip still, and that makes for an interesting second point here. But Fireman, a great play.
Absolutely lovely Giga coming out from Firemadin there, finding that first goal. But like you said, basically everyone has a flip with the exception of both the brawlers, so a lot of potential for this point to just accelerate. First barrier drops without the usage of a single flip though, as now Spartan holding on to this barrier. Hamster Quest setting up that Amy turret, but not quite able to find the barrier that they were looking for. Flip coming out though from Hamster Quest now, being answered by Spartan. The Atlas Ultimate doing a great job as well to keep Alphamy alive here, as they are still under pressure trying to defend, but Spartan just doing so good at holding the strikes correctly and not allowing Lola Mao to take these barriers for free.
Yeah, great defense so far, and just has been locked in with Fire Madden. A perfectly timed flip from Cakes, keeps that ahead. The core is still moving, keeps that speed all the way around. 2 flips for the forwards of Flying Blobos now, but they're both staggered. Both have to use it without hitting the core, and now their death might be coming soon, but they're still staying alive somehow. And now the Atlas Ultimate comes in, is going to get a lot of value, but Alphamy still staggered, and the ultimate from X finds the KO. A power play now, and Spartan own barriers, and that could be it.
Core is bouncing back and forth, trying to find an angle past Spartan, but Spartan just using that secondary and that primary so well to keep the core away, allowing Alphamy to find his way back onto the map. As Core, again, the speed, it's just so fast, and a clean and smart strike from Lola Mao hitting it into that turret to secure the first goal for the side of Woe Chills here. A long point in hindsight for something that could have been really fast off the get-go, but the score got found in the end from Woe Chills, as they are now going into this next point and looking to take out Fire Madden almost immediately.
Yeah, it feels like so much is being used for damage in the midfield that when these power plays come, nobody has any cooldowns left to really secure it. So we'll see if that continues. And Lola Mao continuing to find KOs, gets Fire Madden there with the X Maximus. And now Spartan uses the flip defensively and able to buy himself some time for Fire Madden to hopefully get out. But this Amy turret could spell disaster. Alphamy able to get it out at first, and Spartan once again just timing these strikes so well.
Just really not being caught off guard there is so important when you're playing against an X and something like even a Juno, right? And Spartan just holding on to it pretty nicely. Hamster Quest now down to being staggered, does have a flip available as well, so would like to use that offensively, as a misstrike from Cakes is going to drop that barrier. The attack's trying to be set up here now. Cakes has a flip, Hamster Quest has a flip. Are they going to try to use it to get that barrier off of Spartan or not? Cakes uses the flip, Hamster Quest follows suit. But the core cleanly in control from Spartan, as he has so much space to play with.
Yeah, and always able to find those passes to Fire Madden, who passed it to Alphamy, and the primary finds it there. So a lead here for Flying Blobos. So much back and forth here, but they're the ones who are ultimately converting, and some missed strikes, some missed flips there from Woe Chills, and they're extremely low on energy. No flips yet for Flying Blobos, but if this point is extended, they'll definitely be getting there first.
100%, and that is a worrying thing, and you can see it from Woe Chills as well with the aggressive line that Cakes is holding right now. They want to get this point done as fast as possible, that I do not want to give them that opportunity to farm that energy, to farm for those flips. Hamster Quest being down to 0 HP again with no evades as well, but so is Firemadden. Firemadden does have evades to his name though if he needs them, as Cakes is holding on defensively pretty well here though. Not a single barrier dropped just yet in this one.
Yeah, I think both goalies and midfielder duos have been just locked in, finding fantastic passes and allowing these points to be extended. The secondary saves the dash from Lola Mao, who's now completely low and out of energy. Alphamy finds the KO, and now 2 flips on the side of Flying Blobos. They can convert this. They'll be in great position to win it. Fire Madden off the redirect from Alphamy. Now pushes ahead with the flip, but the Slime saves it. Another strike up ahead, but Hamster Quest outstruck by Alphamy. And the third point, the first set, goes to the side of Flying Blobos.
And what an attack from Flying Blobos. Alphamy with that flip redirect down to Firemadden, giving that barrier for basically free without positioning. And then Firemadden being able to set up an attack like that. Alphamy reading the clears perfectly as well. Really well executed, and definitely a strong showing, as they are now rewarded with a fight or flight on Kai. So getting that KO on him is going to be a bit more difficult, as he's now running across the entire map much faster. Does have to drop one of the sparks, but I feel like you're pretty happy giving up Spark of Focus to get Fight or Flight.
Yeah, and Spark of Strength was also there, and it ends up going to Lola Mao. So only 1 spark left, and the Resilience is going to be interesting once it comes, because I think it's going to be great for either the X or the Kai. But just having the Fight or Flight on Kai is going to allow Fireman to continue to hopefully take control of this midfield for them. But Spartan with the ultimate trying to save him, but he still finds himself low and without energy here. So once again, just the pressure has continued. Even though they got that first set, that doesn't mean you're not going to be KO'd by Woe Chills. But he's winning every strike war. Fire Madden pushing ahead. Finally KO'd, but they did get both barriers, and now if Spartan can hold on to this, they'll be in a good position once he comes back.
He almost finds a strike there as well, but didn't quite, as now the attack is trying to be set up. The goal is still on the field though, and now Fireman back on the field, but doesn't even need to be back, as Alphamy with a beautiful setup gets this goal and gets the first goal of the set for Flying Blobos.
Yeah, the perfect form just has so many cooldowns as he pushes ahead every time he dribbles, getting more back. And Fireman pushing down now. Gets beat by Hamster Quest, who has to use the flip defensively, trying to get it ahead to Lolamau, but Fireman just doing so much work with these strike wars in the midfield, helping on defense, getting it ahead to Alphamy. And if he can continue to do this, going to possibly be able to get that other spark, and the Awakenings could just be too much. But Cakes doing a great job on these strikes. A lot of energy on the side of Flying Blobos, but they do have their goal opened, and we'll see if Wochills can get it. But that gets around, and Hamster Quest and Cakes just once again locked in to save that, but it does now go, and both goals are open.
Both goals are open, but the HP economy much in Flying Blobos' favor, as they do find a KO there on Hamster Quest as well. Flip coming out from Alphamy almost finds the angle, but doesn't quite in the end, as Lolamau is damage dumping into him. Answered by the Atlas ult almost immediately though, as the core is just trying to get cleared out of Wochill's side, but they're just not quite able to find the angle. Team player though, so much value to get that core over to the side of Flying Blobos now, getting an attack going. Can Lolamau set himself up to get a proper strike in? No, not quite yet. Alphamy down to low HP, the core almost going in, and a slightly misaligned strike sends it directly into Alphamy's hands, as Alphamy takes this goal for free.
Yeah, and both goalies got way more way to impact the offense with Missile Prop on Atlas and the team player on Cakes. So they're both able to kind of make their influence felt on offense and defense. But I think, especially with the perfect form, that Missile Prop gives so much value, as Lolamau finds the first KO of the point. Fireman now trying to do what he can to keep it away from Spartan, and he finds a KO with the Giga Blast. No power on that, but just too close to the edge. Now Spartan able to heal him back up. 2 flips on the side of Wochills, so they might be able to hold this if they can use them wisely, but Fireman pushing ahead and finds another strike, trying to get it ahead to Alphamy now, and Cakes has to use the flip. Hamster Quest still has one of his own, but Spartan just able to push ahead. No pressure on him really yet at this point. And they're going to try to get it ahead to Alphamy before he gets KO'd. Right on the edge, the missed flip from Hamster Quest, so they don't find the KO yet, but they do now. The Atlas ult is down, Fireman low himself, so unless he can keep this ahead, this is going to be tough for them to hold on.
Gonna be incredibly tough for Fireman, and doing so much just to keep this core under control. Spartan as well, smartly stalling by letting the core go a little bit for Alphamy to find his way back onto the map. Cakes being able to hold on to the first strike there, but the second one sneaking past into the edge as they find a 3-0 win this set. Just a convincing performance for Flying Blobos in this set again.
Yeah, and Fireman once again MVPing the set. If the Spark of Resilience shows up, he might not be getting KO'd much more, but it doesn't. A lot of good options here, both the Rapid Fire and the Prime Time. Juno dropping all the way to 5th makes it likely that the hot shot might get denied, but perhaps on the goalie you're not quite as worried about it. But what else do you see here for the Brawlers?
The Brawlers obviously have stuff like Knife's Edge, right? I'm thinking Lolamau actually is going to have to pick that up. Yeah, finding a lot of value in that X pick, finding a lot of KOs, and Knife's Edge giving that extra mobility, giving that extra KO threat on the side as well. Definitely going to be good, especially on a map like Night Market, where you can get that speed bonus off the central part as well. And other than that as well, Hamster Quest being able to pick up a Timeless here for himself. Going to do so much for that pressure that the turret's going to be able to put out. There's a lot of damage is being done onto Alphamy here.
Yeah, the Atlas ult though put in so much work there. Yeah, I think it was an interesting choice for Alphamy. You either had to deny the hot shot or get the Knife's Edge yourself. Decided to deny the hot shot from Cakes, so he's going to have to settle for the Prime Time, which is still a strong pick. But even though all that damage came in early, it's still Flying Blobos who are the first ones to open up the goal. Spartan now has so many cooldowns to work with and is able to hold that once again. Both forwards very low for Flying Blobos, but it just seems like that Atlas ult comes up at the right time every single time for Spartan, so they're able to get healed back up. Lolamau, though, pushes in, makes great use of the flip, and now Hamster Quest dribbling to himself with the assist from Cakes. Misses the strike there, but stays alive. Almost disaster there. They get ahead to Lolamau, who finds it in the corner, but not quite. A great strike shot from Spartan, 2 flips used, unfortunately, there. And now Alphamy going to try to hold this midfield with Fire Madden down. They get the pass ahead, but another strike shot from Spartan keeps it alive.
And you can see it in the play from Woe Chills, because this is such an important series for them. You can see it in like it's little stuff like that double flip there, right? The importance of this match, because if they're not able to find the series win today, their playoff chances are done, right? Woe Chills has to find a win in the series if they want to contest playoffs. It is still unlikely, however, it is still there. So you need to get every single win you can. And you can just see that in that execution, right? That maybe a little bit of nervousness of overusing an ability, because it is such a heavy match for them here, as both barriers are down again on the side of Woe Chills. An attack being set up from Flying Blobos here, but being defended nicely so far from Cakes and Hamster Quest.
Yeah, Lowell now looking for the KO, but the Atlas ult comes in, so going to be able to heal Alphamy up a little bit. Has that flip and is probably going to have to use it. Doesn't quite right there. It might have missed. Fire Madden now pushing to the corner. If he has a barrage, he might be able to confirm this, but he doesn't quite. Strike shot goes vertical from Spartan, so they're able to keep that up, and now the flip is used for a KO this time. Fire Madden now pushing into the corner, uses the Giga Blast, but doesn't quite find it. They're trying to get it ahead to Alphamy, who's low, but they just can't get it around Waldemau. They get it ahead, still staying alive in this point, despite their goal being open pretty much the whole time. Not quite close enough to the edge to kill Fire Madden there. And Alphamy still staggered, but still staying alive, finally goes down. And now Fire Madden uses the flip a little too close to the edge and goes down himself. We'll see if Spartan can hold on 1 versus 3. Able to so far, but a great pass there from the forwards of Woe Chills. They get it into the corner, but now Spartan has the flip and is able to use it. They're able to stay alive, and Fire Madden gets back, winning the strike wars against Hamster Quest. They get it ahead to Alphamy, but it's bouncing just a little bit too fast for him. Waldemau goes down, and now Fire Madden going to try to get it through this Amy turret.
Trying to get it through, but Amy Turret being so oppressive on the midfield. They still have the power play going, but Hamster Quest and Cakes both have a flip. But Fire Madden finds the angle, and you saw it in the range as well from Cakes there. A flip just barely not enough to reach it, as they do equalize this set. And more importantly, the energy disadvantage, it's a bit weird. There's an energy advantage on the side of Woe Chills on a technicality, but it's all really just on Hamster Quest.
Yeah, gonna have to find a lot of value out of this. He uses it there, doesn't go for the double, just smartly goes for the single. Cakes a little bit of a missed interaction there. This is the strike shot, but doesn't quite get punished for it. But Alphamy there, off the strike shot from Spartan, a great play. Strike war win and the interaction with the glitch pop there. But both the goalie and the midfield are extremely low for Woe Chills, and Alphamy just wins the strike war, finds the right corner, and match point once again for Flying Blobos here.
Match point and series point for Flying Blobos, and you just saw it in the gameplay as well there. Fire Madden doing such a good job in the midfield, almost giving Spartan a vacation in some of these points, as of course just barely going into their half. One barrier does drop now though. Fire Madden does have a flip available to him if he does opt to use it. The barrier is being found as well, as now Woe Chills has an open goal in front of them. They drop one barrier themselves, but a double flip coming out potentially from the side of Flying Blobos. One takes a barrier, 2 open goals now. Fire Madden does have a flip as well available to him. Is gonna use it and finds that pass up to Alphamy to take this goal, take the series, and eliminate Woe Chills from playoffs.
Yeah, pass that put Flying Blobos in great position to make playoffs themselves with their 4th win here, and unfortunately eliminated Woe Chills from any chance of making it. A great showing from Flying Blobos, who just were completely in control of both of those maps, and Fire Madden MVPing this one. Once again, only one more redirect than Hamster Quest, but, you know, just dominating that game with the assists, 2 goals, 5 assists, doing so much. And another strong showing and a 3rd straight win for Flying Blobos, as they really are making their mark toward making playoffs this season.
Yeah, they've established momentum and have kept it throughout this entire series as well, and they're looking to bring it into the next series as well next week, as they're now standing at a pretty strong 4-3 scoreline. So having a good chance at making that run into those playoffs. And sadly, Woe Chills now being taken out, not having that opportunity to make that run into playoffs anymore. But still, overall, a pretty decent showing from them. Today just was not the day for them to find their win.
Yeah, not quite. And Flying Blobos, they lost their goalie to a Nashville transfer, Pensando, a few weeks ago. But with Spartan in there, they've been able to find a 3-game winning streak here and are in great position. So despite the roster changes, they've found their footing and they're looking great here. And so moving ahead, we'll have Rose Petals against Embers Flame. Embers Flame, another team that pretty badly needs a win to stay in strong contention for playoffs. So we're going to have another great game in our hands. And thank you everyone for watching. Sloth, if you have anything else.
Nothing more for me. Just stay excited and keep watching for more series going up.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the NASA broadcast. I'm here with Brando V2, and we're here to watch Ember's Flame versus the Rose Petals. Ember sitting at 2-4, trying to make it into playoffs here. Still very possible, as we saw with Modern Magic yesterday in Nassau. On the other hand, Rose 4-2, trying to make the winner's side in playoffs. Of course, not out of danger, but they're sitting pretty at 4-2.
Yeah, and it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Ember's Flame kind of putting in some of their alternates, some of the starters not available today. So we are going to see just Logan, Jay, and Sylvia on Ember's Flame. But I think it's shaping up to be a good match. Two of my favorite maps right out of the gate. Tycho up first, and then Gates of Obscure after that. Love seeing those. I love a lot of the forward plays and kind of how creative forwards can get with their dribbles, trying to get those barriers, trying to get around the goalies. So I'm really looking forward to those two maps and kind of seeing what brawler picks come up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We can actually take a look at the draft right now because they're taking an awful long time in the lobby sorting things out. Ember's Flame prioritizing that Juno pick with Rose banning the Aimi. Jay, historically a Juno and Aimi player, so very, very understandable. On the other end, we live in a speed world, and Ember's Flame has pick damage, so we'll see what happens to them, because it is a little bit difficult to play damage in the current patch, but it's not impossible. People have done it.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that's honestly, with that Ember's Flame comp, I can't tell who's the goalie in that. The Juno, maybe?
It's very ambiguous. It could be.
Yeah.
I think it's either the Fini or the Luna. It is the Fini from Sylvia.
Okay.
And this double midfield Tycho, as a Tycho Temple enjoyer, what do you think about this wacky comp?
I think some interesting things are going to happen. Yeah, I am kind of perplexed because Twin Drive Perfect Form start, nothing really out here screams damage. It's not like a Deadeye or Missile Prop for the Luna. And as soon as that Kazan hits level 2, that Finny's going to kind of struggle with that pressure, especially with a Kai backing them up with the speed and all of that core control that Kai gets with the primary Kai Barrage. Kai's ult can also deal a lot of damage. So this first set I think is going to be insanely rough for Ember's Flame here. I think this first set is definitely in the hands of Rose Petals, and it's really up to Ember's Flame to really scale with their Awakening drafts.
Yeah, and exactly as you said, it's looking rough. Two barriers already down. Doxy and Twisty, full core control, every single capability, but Logan, out of nowhere, 1 KO, 1 barrier with the Crater Maker, and Sylvia Seraphine as well. Big finish from the midfield. Maybe this team has what it takes.
Yeah, it's like they were struggling, like you said, very early on. I think it's going to be they have to get a KO, and that's kind of when they can make those offensive pushes, and especially if they can get it on that Kai, because that Kai is going to be the one that's going to deny them really any kind of like passing plays, any kind of positioning really, because he could just be all over the place.
Oh!
And an unfortunate Finial catches the center Tycho drum, and I don't even know if I want to call that like a high risk, high reward play, but yeah, just kind of you hate to see it, and sometimes you see it a little too often, is that Finial on Tycho.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but you got to keep going. And the middle of that point was quite fantastic for Ember's Flame. There's a lot of good possibilities here. But getting past Luke's going to be a bit of a challenge. One of the best goalies in NASA holding it down on the Atlas. But that's a lot of damage onto Doxy. Logan also in a lot of danger, but running away, dashing away, trying to KO Doxy on the drive-by, but not quite getting it. And it's a bit of a Plink reunion over here on Ember's Flame. Plink Blanc, a former NASA team that had a pretty good run in their time in the league, disbanded a while ago, but Logan and Jay, not too unfamiliar with each other as the combined play on the top side gets the second barrier.
Yeah, a little bit of a reunion, and I'm not too familiar with Plink Blanc back in their day, but I guess is this kind of a comp we would see from them, like this double midfield, this kind of like going damage kind of comps?
I think they did pick a lot of weird things. Back then, Jay was picking Juno every game, and Logan, I think, of course, usually playing Brawler. Oh no, it's another, it's another own goal. Oh my.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, like I said, this first set is going to be rough on them. It's starting to be rough in different ways I was not predicting. But I think Ember's Flame is not out of this. Yeah, they've had a lot of like unfortunate misplays, but all in all, these points they've been playing really well. I was thinking they were kind of be struggling more to like get these barriers down, especially going into an Atlas and especially Luke. But they're doing a great job getting these barriers down with these like not really like stuff it through kind of characters, just like passing around, just creating these openings and then just like dumping everything on Luke until he has no options. But yeah, it's just kind of these unfortunate plays. But once they get some awakenings to build into what they want, I think this team comp can turn around. It's going to be effectively a luck of the draw if they can get what they want.
Yeah, and also luck of the draw if the opponents don't get something like Unstoppable. Logan, though, what a play, and also the defense on the top left corner. Keeping the point alive was also huge earlier on. Jay going in with the slime. Logan all the way across the map. Good primary from Luke to make sure it doesn't drift up to Jay. And I'm impressed by Sylvia's performance as well on the defense. Of course, few awkward own goals, but other than that has been mostly solid. Other than that one has also been mostly solid here. Twisty and Doxy now advancing, though. Yeah, Ember's Flame defense hard to be consistent with, but Jay on the timing mix-up had to flip as well just in case. Gets the goal, and Ember's Flame stays alive here.
And perfectly timed on Jay, waiting out just long enough for Luke's strike shot to go past and leaving Luke without any options. Without a missile prop, strike shot primary may have been able to get to it, but that kind of Atlas primary into like effectively a Soren angle, kind of risky. And I wasn't keeping track of the cooldowns too much, but Luke may not even have the primary up at that point. So great patience and great play on Jay.
And if you think about it right now, Ember's Flame is kind of in the lead because they've scored 3 goals, while the side of Rose has scored 0. That could change here.
Ember's Flame really is just padding their stats.
They've scored
honestly.
4 goals.
Ember's Flame is just padding stats at this point. 4 goals. Every goal in this game, in this set so far, has been scored by Ember's Flame.
Record-breaking 4 goals in 1 set. Can we make it 5 is the question here. Jay and Logan trying to do something with this wacky composition, but again, like you mentioned, consistency is an issue. It will require some massive outplays, and Logan, what a good rocket predicting Doxy's out clear, not trying to keep it in the corner too much. And that's the power of those projectiles if a player gets antsy, but that's the barriers taken. Danger coming in for Ember's Flame. They get it out of the corner for now as Jay gets the strike reset with the slime, and Logan taking the barrier. They're not prepared for the Luna.
And just Logan has been playing this Luna so well, insanely patient on their primary and dashes, and waiting for Luke to make a decision and then just catching them off guard without any way out, just to get those barriers down. And we see the flip coming out, and yep, Twisty and Doxy right in front of them, not really an option, so just kind of keep the pass in plays and keep the possession going in the direction they want it.
Doxy's on death's door, though, forced to be healed up here. That's a KO target because she has no energy available. Doxy tries to score before that, finds the goal just in time and makes the score 1-4, somehow in the favor of the Rose Petals.
We could maybe give him like a 4.5. I mean, there was a Finny secondary there.
Yeah. Actually, I think the Finny secondary scored that. It's 0-5.
It's 0-5. Ember's Flame has this.
Oh, but look at the draft. This is huge. This is really, really good for Ember's Flame. There's no like big survivability awakenings on the board, and they get extra special on the Luna. They get Knife's Edge on the Juno, and they get Spark of Focus, single spark here. Honestly, I think this is a pretty good outcome.
Honestly, yeah, looking pretty good here. Just Logan has been insanely good at using the primary and secondary for taking barriers, really, and scoring attempts. Their ult is almost exclusively for damage, for basically disrupting Rose's positioning and their setups. So getting more of that without really kind of making that decision of, do I use this for scoring attempt, do I use this for damage? I think that's exactly what Just Logan wants. And yeah, Doxy denied the Deadeye from them, but I don't know. With extra special and Deadeye up, I don't think Luna leaves leaves sad in that draft.
Yeah, and importantly, there's also Core Speed Awakenings left for the Juno, but right now, we can't forget, Rose is still playing this game seriously, okay? They do have the very serious composition that can do very serious things like taking the barriers and the goal, and both barriers still stand on their side. Logan trying to change that though, but they can't quite get it. The barriers still stand, both of them on the side. Finally, one goes down and Logan keeps possession. The Slimes keep possession as well. Great bounce from Jay, not quite enough though. Dangerous spot now as Luke walks up, but it's stolen away by Logan.
Yeah, Luke just like thinking they had it. It was an open goal. They had to, they still had a barrier up, but Logan able to just sneak it right past the entirety of Rose Petals to get that last barrier. Now it's a full open goal on both sides. Oh, no! And finally, Ember's Flame uses the center drum to get a positive goal.
I don't think Ember's Flame used that one. It was Doxy. That's how many own goals in this game so far?
You know what? No, I am currently rooting for Ember's Flame in this one. Ember's Flame has all the goals.
Okay. You know, close enough, honestly. Because when they own goal, it was their goal, but when the opponent team owned goals, it was mind control.
Yeah. It was an aura, really. It was, they have that aura passive, you know?
Yep. I'm so amazed at how well they're playing, how well they're getting results with this off-meta composition as Logan checkmates Luke basically, a Slime on the bottom side and Luna on the top side. That's like having a million size.
Yeah, and like, joking aside, yeah, we kind of been joking on the amount of like own goals. Ember's Flame has been doing a phenomenal job of getting the most value out of their abilities. Like that last goal, it was almost entirely strikes to keep in that corner there. Ooh. And then just kind of using their abilities to secure it when they needed to. But they're being incredibly efficient with this goofy comp.
Yeah, and they're defending pretty well too. Defending goalie not known for lockdown defense, especially against the core control of a Kazan and Kai. But so far, Sylvia's been doing quite the solid job at it. No glaring errors other than that own goal. And Logan now looking to 1v3. Sylvia pouring on the damage. Luke could be the target here.
Yeah, they do. At the very least, they could have baited out the that flip, get that out of the way. But Luke able to get the ult in time, heal them up. So no more danger from the goal box on the side of Roses.
A dangerous spot for Rose, though. Logan and Jay are positioning in such a scary manner at the moment. Sylvia in the corner almost gets it out of there. And Twisty there 1v2ing for both the barriers. Logan, though, looking to snipe, has a flip available. This could be the end of the set if Logan gets his hands on it, but the flip stolen away by Luke. And now Twisty has full control, gets a goal, and the Rose Petals are still playing the core control composition. They still got it in them. Yeah,
Luke just barely winning that flip war with Logan in the end, and able to get around the other side for Twisty to do a nice little dash pull strike to get that goal. But you were kind of talking how well Sylvia is playing with this really not traditional lock it down kind of goalie on the Finny. But add on top of that you currently have a demo-sized Kazan. They had a demo-sized Kazan to worry about. But I guess when you're dishing out the damage and getting the KOs, it kind of makes it a bit easier on your Finny goalie.
Yeah, maybe just a bit. Luke now just blocking off the midfield. Atlas midfield picked on this map sometimes for a reason, and that is exactly that. Logan, though, taking way too much damage. Need to get out of there. Getting punished for it, and the KO comp becomes the KO, but a good flip will send it out of there. Jay with a clear as well, and the power play is looking mostly ineffective here.
Yeah, but Finny, again, not the lock it down goalie, but does have a lot of range in that secondary, the primary, her ult, that she can kind of catch Roses when they're trying to cross the midfield line and just keep it on Rose's side of the field, so just Logan and Jay can really keep this pressure going and hit abilities towards the core while also like dishing out that damage, which is exactly what really any team wants, but especially this team, and with a nice bounce does find that second barrier.
Twisty though. Oh, really good timing by Sylvia to not get caught out there. Logan and Jay now looking to close this out, but the good strike from Luke so far. Snipe from Sylvia, not quite enough. Logan going in, flip available. So close to the wall though, so easy to defend for Twisty helping out. Jay now the one with the flip. Ember's got to make this one count. Luke almost not there in time, but barely in position. Giga Blast now a little bit scary. Top side it goes. Snuck away. Logan to the bottom side, and finally the Atlas runs out of long-range cooldowns. And Ember's Flame finally comes out on top. This draft could be huge for them if they can get the good denies and the good awakening takes here.
And that was such a beautiful side strike by just Logan there, able to send to that bottom corner. And, ooh, they could get rewarded with the, Missile Prop or Catalyst. And no one did take Egoist that last draft, so at least that's not a concern. But it looks like they are going for the Missile Prop. Again, it looks like KOs is kind of the name of the game for Ember's Flame here.
Yeah, and the Spark of Resilience denied away from the double spark potential on Sylvia. Also making sure that some more staggers picked up for durability, but with Rapid Fire and Missile Prop picked up, the damage pressure, utility pressure is a lot scarier in the favor of Ember's Flame here. On the other end, though, Chrono Boost Kai is going to be really hard to deal with.
I was going to say, not to overlook the Chrono Boost Kai, because I think a lot of the pressure that Ember's Flame has been able to do is because Sylvia has all these range abilities on a fairly short cooldown, that it's kind of hard for Rose Petals to get it across the midfield line to challenge that Finny. But when you have a Kai with all that speed, they'll be able to get up there even if you do like catch the core and bounce it back. The Kai will be there to keep control and get it pushed over to that side. So gonna see how Doxy uses that Chrono Boost speed.
Yeah, if Doxy can handle the projectiles, that will make it much easier for the Rose Petals to play. Logan needs to watch out, being chipped down, taking a lot of damage. Twisty could be looking. Oh, but a weird bounce makes it so difficult to strike shots. Luke tries to get the expanse, but Jay threads the needle, doesn't even need to use flip. And Ember's Flame are now in the lead.
Yeah, Luke got kind of unfortunate pinball bumper Atlas bubble, and Jay knew exactly what to do. Get in there, shoot a slime, and just get as many strikes off as possible to get that core in. And honestly, well played, good map awareness, ability awareness, not sure what you want to call it, from Jay to kind of see what was happening there.
Yeah, oh, danger for Just Logan, though. Could be taken out with just one ability here. But a huge crater, the Missile Prop boost coming into play here from Logan. A bit of an ambitious scoring attempt, though. It kind of went straight to Luke, and the dash not quite fast enough to follow up at that range. Twisty, though, taken out as well. The power plays are being changed. The scaling has been achieved for Ember's Flame. And with Spark of Resilience already off the board for the two forwards, they're going to have a very good time against the durability. But Doxy, Chrono Boost Kai, you got to watch out. This power play turns into a negative for Ember's Flame.
Yeah, and as soon as Ember Flame starts getting some more damage, it's going to be almost exponentially more difficult to stay alive, even though you have an Atlas that can do a good amount of healing, can do a revive, can get KOs, can get goals. You know what? I don't think Rose Petals has anything to worry about here.
Yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're surviving and holding just enough. Jay, unfortunately, a little bit too ambitious on that jump there. But Ember's Flame still making sure to get a lot of presence here in this game. Again, who could have expected from this comp? With this roster, a barrier already taken. Luke forced into a tough situation by Jay instantly with the slimes. The power of the Juno coming into full play here from one of the best pilots of the character. And Just Logan keeping possession up as well. Dangerous spot for Sylvia, though.
Yeah, especially does use the flip, try to get out of there, but kind of unfortunate bounce. Twisty able to react to it, but again, an unfortunate bounce on the side of Rose Petals gives Just Logan that final barrier. Now it's a full open field.
The Taiko drum strikes again, and Just Logan has assassinated the goalie. Ember's Flame capitalizing fully. The barrage barely holding on against the J redirect, but it's only a matter of time if Ember's Flame can get the plays, and there's the slime redirect into the crater. And I got a feel for Luke. I had the solo queue game versus Vaughn Bells, I think, and it was so close. But in the end, I own gold off of the Taiko drum rebound, just like what happened to Luke. It happens way too often.
It kind of does, and there's some weird angles on Tycho. Not even on that center drum. Those quarter drums have some weird bounces that they can come off at, some odd angles. So, yeah, we might be joking around, but it happens to the best of us. But just Logan proving might be the best of us, getting a nice double barrier sliding in between those Tycho locks.
Yeah, there's one thing Jay does best on Juno, it's maintain possession. Look at those dribbles. Look at that flip available, trying to use it at the perfect moment to close out this set. Got to be really careful of the Doxy cooldowns, though. Looks for the back pass to the slime, barely misses it. Jay trying to get a little bit too fancy with it, honestly. Needs to cash out this flip soon, and that's exactly when it happens. Jumps to our death. That's the second time, not like this.
Not like this. The bubble was there for so long. You could have seen it.
A little bit too ambitious. Second time in a row now, but the defense great from Ember's Flame. They hold on to the barrier just long enough to give Logan and Jay another chance here. A good strike where wins from Logan. Looking for a flip perhaps. Slime's available. Jay trying to find a passing angle, but Twisty's cutting off a lot of them. So much core speed across the map, but it goes right back into the hands of Twisty, who's knocked away by Logan right on time. And Ember's Flame holds on, but so does the Rose Petals, but that's a KO and a power play.
Yeah, Twisty, unfortunate, not able to hang on when you got a Finny and a Juno just smelling the blood, just trying to get you just close enough to the edge for their abilities to get you off. And now just Logan and Jay kind of doing a nice job trying to like pass around, find an opening, but Twisty comes back and is able to find the nice corner shot that Sylvia just cannot reach.
Well played here. Now, the question is how well they can play in this 0.5 situation. It's a little bit scary here, but they'll need to overcome this Luke with Flip, one of the best goalies again in NASA. So not going to be an easy feat here.
No, but they've done it. They've done it twice before already this set. So it's not unheard of. But I think they need to get some damage going out. They need to start getting Rose Petals afraid for their life. Just like they are right now with Twisty, and so they can get that offensive pressure and kind of put more pressure on Luke and just get Luke to just start dumping abilities to try to just save whatever they can.
Yep, we'll see how it goes here. One barrier lead here. Logan with Flip. Jay building up a lot of meter as well, forced to evade, but Flip. Oh, Luke! What a block at point blank, keeping the barrier alive. The Rose Petals do not want to go down to this sub roster, to this composition, and they're trying their hardest to stay afloat here. Twisty and Doxy have had individually great scoring attempts here. Danger with the slime bounces as the barriers are evened up. Logan trying to get there, but Doxy way faster on the Chrono Kai. The rebounds found by the Rose Petals, but Ember's Flame somehow managing to hold on until then. But a great shot by Logan, almost perpendicular on the bounce, but they got to watch out for Twisty.
Yep, and that's one thing, especially with Logan on this Luna, is all three of Ember's Flame are falling back to defense, especially with Affinity to Kazan is not an easy matchup. But with the Luna twin drive dash, the Juno Slimes able to get across the field, able to transition between these defense and offensive plays insanely quickly. And Sylvia with some of these nice drum angles to get it out and get it sent over to the other side so Logan and Jay can try to make something happen into Luke.
Every moment is so scary. Sylvia, that was such a risky clear, but it pays off. But they're still in danger. Doxy could run up with a barrage, perhaps. Really tough situation. Gets past Twisty. Jay now advancing. Logan in position. Sylvia barely making the save, and the Giga Blast not quite enough. It goes to the other side of the field. A margin of such inches here, not even inches, millimeters, as they're barely holding on. Same can be said on the other side though. Luke has flipped, but it's so easy to hit around the Atlas when the core speed is this crazy. Twisty not quite getting the hook either. Logan looking for a double hit with the rocket, not enough still.
Yeah, Luke still holding on to this flip, just able to position himself in a way that they can catch just about anything that Logan and Jay can throw at him without wasting that flip. And insane patience, and we have a flip on Doxy as well. If they can get it forward, there might be a scoring attempt here. We don't need flip with a staggered Twisty getting knocked around, able to get knocked right into the center of the goal and able to send it into that bottom pocket. And Roses takes it.
Wow. That's a hot shot. That's going to be denied, but Jay will still get a great awakening, and they also have the chance to take double spark with Spark of Strength here. Yeah, of course, hot shot is denied away from the Juno. You don't want even more core speed, but Fighter Flight's going to give Jay a lot more presence in the midfield in terms of speed. She has been touching the core basically every 5 seconds, it feels like. But wow, I mean, Luke, that guy looked unscorable on. It was crazy.
Yeah, Atlas. Okay, let's be real. An Atlas can hold down a barrier insanely well, but Luke was holding down an open goal, like not giving it an inch. Never needed to use flip, just abilities and strikes and finding those tight clears, and sometimes pushing a little too confident. But barriers are resources, and especially if you can find a KO in it. But Luke, like you said, just looks unscorable now.
Yeah, and unfortunately the Finny character a little bit scoreable on. Sylvia's been playing it very solidly, but it is still so difficult to hold on for so long. Doxy playing patiently against a big finish as well, and now Twisty is looking quite massive, but taken out here. Jay with the good sword angle up to Sylvia, and Doxy next on the chopping block. Maybe the KOs have scaled enough though.
It seems like it. Now can Luke hold down an open goal in a 3v1? Does get a little bit of help from Twisty coming back in, but able to send it around that Crater Maker to bounce it off the edge so it does not get sent into the goal. Uses that flip, sends it to the other side, and now it is Rose Petals trying to make an offensive push.
Really good flip, but the angle not quite there. The angle not quite there either to find the goal, and now a dangerous spot as Twisty advances Logan, trying to find a rebound. It's not enough though. Oh, what a dash! Catches Luke at the perfect timing. And throughout that point, throughout the past few points, what I've been noticing is a lot of goalies at this level. There are moments where they will strike shots instead of strike, and they're holding so well, but then that happens and you feel bad. I don't think Sylvia's had a single bad strike shot. The consistency has been impressive.
Yeah, I think I've only seen her miss one strike shot, but it was far enough out that you get strike back anyway, so it was kind of like, oh, if I get this, it'd be nice. If not, it's no concern.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sylvia's been on point with these strike shots and on point with the primaries. Great use of the secondary, right here. Able to like stall Twisty long enough that they can't get it past the midfield line and get an offensive push going as quickly as they would like. Whereas you have just Logan and Jay here is like, as soon as Embers gets that KO, can get it to the other side, just Logan and Jay are going to immediately start throwing abilities, get that offensive pressure going, and just they transition between this defense and offensive so quick, quicker than I think Rose Petals is able to, and I think that's kind of what is saving them. And the obvious one, they're dishing out a lot of damage and finding a lot of nice KOs.
Oh, but it's a Twisty 1v1 here. Sylvia first missed strike shot, but has the flip, but yeah. Okay, I cursed her. I said no like bad strike shots, but unfortunately that miss put her in such an awful situation. Doxy covering perfectly, and that is the set being evened up by the Rose Petals here.
Yeah, unfortunate caster's curse there, but happens to the best of them. But all in all, this game is very much a goalie's game, where Luke is holding down, Sylvia's holding down. That if any of these goalies were to make one more mistake, then it feels like it'd be game over. And just how on point both goalies have been in this, it's allowing their forwards to either on the side of Rose Petals survive long enough until you can get something going, or on the side of Ember's Flame to dish out this damage and then create these openings.
Logan, what a snipe. Luke goes down, and Ember's Flame has life once again. 1 goal away from bringing it to set 5.
Yeah, and that's just kind of it. It's like, if you get rid of the goalie, it kind of disrupts Rose's entire strategy here. Because Twisty and Doxy, all good players, but I don't think the two of them combined can match up to what Luke has been doing this entire game.
Yeah. Oh, that's another bit. Guys, my bad. After I complimented Sylvia, she has been 0 for 3 on strike shots.
Yeah, I think you owe them a heartfelt apology after this.
Yeah, but they're still holding on. They still have flips available and are going to cash them out here. Jay maintaining possession up the field now, looking for an opportunity against Luke. The weird bounce is coming in as Logan is now back, but Luke continuing to hold down that barrier.
Yep. And Jay holding onto that flip, kind of waiting for the right moment to... It seems like Ember's Flame is perfectly okay using flip to get barriers, which I completely agree with, especially the last barrier. So I think if they can just get it into that corner and get Jay up there with that flip, but they do unfortunately have to use it defensively. Does not work out though. Doxy and Twisty having such great coverage in Ember's Flame's goal box here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Ember's Flame can create another miracle with this wacky roster. 1 goal, and they can continue playing this game. 1 goal from the Rose Petals, and we head on to the next. Logan maintaining possession quite well so far, but it's a Twisty double barrier, and the dream might be over. The illusion might have faded as Doxy and Luke are closing in. The slime bounces are not what they want, and despite the valiant effort, Rose Petals will prevail.
It seems like that game kind of ended the same way it started. Just some unfortunate bounces on that center taiko drum. At the start, we saw some unfortunate own goals. There, it seemed like just Logan, not sure it was intentional or not, just kept dribbling it into that center drum, which just gave Doxy and Twisty just time to position, time for their abilities to come up and find that opening to score that final point there.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game, I gotta say. One of the more entertaining that I've watched on stream in the past while. Shout out to Ember's Flame for making it that close. Again, looking at the roster, you would not have predicted that, because this is the Rose Petals. This is a 4-2 team that has only lost to the 2 teams above them, which are PPL and PLX, who are sitting at 1st and 2nd respectively. So this is a team that is poised to make it to winner side of playoffs, barring any massive accidents on the road. And Ember, they still could be that roadblock here. That performance was inspiring, and as they move on to the next map, onto Gates, onto... Oh, well, I guess it is Rose's map pick, and your map pick Gates is one of the strongest map picks of all time. So...
Yeah, I'm curious if Embers goes with this kind of like unorthodox, let's call it, team comp going into Gates. It can work on, I feel like it can work on Taiko, because there's that center obstacle, and you can kind of like choke off a lane. Gates is a fairly open map, and plus those portals just open up so many different passing opportunities that it's going to be hard for a Luna Juno to kind of have that kind of pressure that we saw on Taiko there. So it's going to be... I'm really curious to see what Embers pulls out on a second map here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what is indeed the case here. Oh, it looks like Just Logan is out. Mr. Zert is in. That's going to lead to a much more traditional brawler being played instead of the Luna. We'll see how that changes things. I do think a traditional brawler much more valuable on the Gates map.
Very much so. Zert, I believe, like very solid on X and Zentaro. I haven't seen them play Asher that much, but if you play one stuff at Brawler, you played them all. So Asher, insanely good on Gates of Obscura as well.
Yep. Well, we will have to see here how it goes for the draft, which should be coming up very, very shortly. And yeah, the starting awakenings will determine a lot here. It's finally coming up on screen. Extra special Super Surge. Oh, that's a little interesting.
Huh.
Wait, did I just like lie? Is this Ember's map pick?
Yeah, it is Ember's backpack.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking
so
at
I
the
lied.
stats here.
So that's really good for Ember. If they're comfortable, if they can get things done, it will be looking very solid for them. And let's see what happens. Rose and Ember, map 2. First game. I would have liked to see us at 5 in that first game. A bit unfortunate that we didn't get it.
It was so fun, and I love those odd team comps you don't get to see come out very often, especially like in a competitive scene, and seeing them play so well with really just their like base mechanics, striking, positioning, and then how efficiently they were using their abilities. The Luna dashes for score, the Juno dashes and primaries to keep possession, and as well as dish out the damage and find as many KOs as they were. So part of me is kind of hoping that we kind of see another goofy comp, but I kind of going into gates, I feel like it's going to be a rough one not to have your traditional like midfield brawler comp going.
Yeah, we'll have to see how exactly it goes here. But as the draft comes in this time, it is Rose using their blue side power to ban away the Juno and pick away the Aimi. Effectively a double ban here, of course. Jay has other picks on the table, but those are the two main ones for the midfielder of Ember. On the other side, Rune, very interestingly coming out. That is not a pick that I would have expected to see out of this team, but we'll see how it goes. The character itself is very solid on this map after all.
Yeah, I mean, Rune can be really good denying the passing lanes through the portals and kind of just like seeing it straight back. But Rune is kind of weak until they get something. If it's a midfield Rune, getting like primetime rapid fire ability usage, maybe one size awakening. If you're looking at the goalie side of it, a goalie Rune, you're really looking at like timeless, Manu to an extent, I guess. Timeless is kind of the big thing. And he just kind of played tower defense of fish, basically. So it's not unheard of with this starting awakenings. Might feel a little rough for them until they can get kind of something going.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We're going to get into game very, very soon here. Looks like the players are ready. Sylvia once again in the goal box. Once again, playing the Fini most likely here. And that's going to be interesting because it's going to be Jay on the Rune. Not a pick that you see her on too often. Not that she has never played it before, but it is definitely not out of like the top 5 picks you name for Jay. Rune's not on there.
I mean, maybe they've been practicing it in scrims. Maybe they've been practicing it specifically for this map. But yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. Rune, kind of a difficult character to just pick up. Like, you kind of have to get familiar with the range, the ability usage. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how they come out. And I'm assuming that's probably Xur on the Zentaro. Super Surge, you get that dash awakening right out the gate, so you're not going to be hurting for that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of this.
All right, heading right in at the gates of Obscura here. I think once again, a very, very standard comp coming out of the side of the Rose Petals. They're going to play this game very, very normally. On the other end, interesting Rune pick coming out from Ember's Flame. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we are one Aimi away from Bite Breakers, though, on the side of Embers. And that kind of makes me sad.
I mean, Nassel 80. Let me check the stats. You talk for a bit. I'm going to check what Aimi's presence is in Nassel after the previous week.
Okay. But yeah, we are seeing Super Surge going to Twisty and Xurt, the 2 forwards. Everyone else opting for extra special. Makes sense. Aimi's turret, once you kind of get it into those pockets, dash in, drop it, and you basically just create a self-contained pocket to give you and your brawler time to get one barrier. If you kind of time your strikes well enough, you can get those double barriers. But right now, both teams just kind of struggling for possession. Roses does kind of get over there and catch a Sylvia off guard and able to get around into that first barrier, but barriers are resources, so we are going to not worry about that. And we've seen how good Sylvia can be with that strike shot placement and really finding a lot of these nice clears. So not gonna be too out of their comfort zone, but a nice KO on the side of Rose Petals, but Twisty bringing it back to a 2v2. And the unfortunate side on Rose Petals is that is their goalie out, but they aren't able to stall long enough for Luke to come back. But we see open gates on both sides here, and just kind of a back and forth, really just kind of sitting at just back and forth, waiting to find an opening. And Ember's Flame kind of playing a double goalie here with Jay on that rune, finding that nice pillar, but unfortunately with an Imi turret pushing it through, not a lot of clear options, and Rose Petals able to get it in and get the first point on the board in this Gates of Obscura map.
Yeah, first point on the board here, and I've checked. Imi's presence has dropped from 83.6% to 82.9%.
It's still 80. It's still 1%.
It's barely changed.
Yeah.
That character is still high priority for a reason. Doxy gonna be having a good time on the Imi most likely here, but it's not gonna be too simple to get past Jay and Sylvia. Jay had some great defensive plays with the pillars to keep that point alive for longer than some might think it should have. Mr. Zerd taking a beating as well, and although the KO was huge in the previous point, Mr. Zerd also got taken down right after getting the KO, so maybe overcommitting a tiny bit on the KOs, because you're on a Luna, you can't just fly out of there.
I mean, you are a Zentaro. You do have a pretty good dash range, especially with that super surge. But if that's what you're using to kill, and does get saved by the portal there. Luke trying to find blood, but Zert finds the portal. But Twisty finds the goal past Sylvia, past the rune pillars.
Yeah, and Zert, great barrier take. But in the end, it is just the flips being burned, flips being capitalized on from the Rose Petals, and also a weird strike at the very end. As the brawlers go down, but at the very end of the last point, did Zerd strike it backwards through the portal?
We'll
have to check the replay.
I couldn't tell. Yeah, I might have to check the replay on that. Portals can get kind of funny in this map.
Yeah, just a bit. Now the corner offense is coming through, but the core unfortunately getting caught by the pillar. Still the barrier's taken. Big opportunity for Ember's Flame if they can get past here. But Twisty and Doxy are approaching. And Luke, of course, on the boo, as he is called now. A little bit too slow to catch up to the core that time. Great pass through from Jay through the portal.
Yeah, and we've seen how good Luke is with these kind of lock-it-down goalie, especially Atlas on that Tycho map earlier. Dubu kind of suffering from the same similar things as Atlas, kind of on the slower side, does have a lot of zoning potential and just kind of like stuffing it out. But on the slower side, especially with these pillars, that speed, that lack of speed, if anything, might come into play like we saw in that last point. But you do have Doxy kind of backing you up there if you're really committing to denying that top corner like we saw.
Zerd on a scoring attempt, not quite getting it past Luke this time, but Luke has burned quite a few cooldowns thanks to Zerd's attempt, and what a snipe with the secondary. Oh no, sniping himself into the edge of the wall, and Luke will capitalize with the donuts here. Sylvia, though, walking up very, very confidently, finds a strike war, finds a big finish, blocked away by the Rose Petals, but that was a very nice, confident offensive play that's burning so many cooldowns off the Rose Petals. The barrier, though, lost, and Luke keeping the defense up. Mr. Zert winning the strike war after the roll, though, and the core goes around the world. Sylvia defends it, but Twisty in the bottom corner can't quite get possession. Good strike from Jay.
Yeah, and Twisty finding a lot of these nice clears, but yeah, as soon as Twisty gets right up in your face on that Kazan, there's only so much you can do. But Ember's Flame pulling it out. Nice shot from Jay, sending it right between Luke and Doxy.
Yeah, and now it's a bit of a dangerous spot here for the Rose Petals. It kind of felt like they were in most of the control, but right now they're in quite a bit of danger. One goal puts Ember's Flame in the lead after all, and Twisty staying alive just barely, but just barely is concerning. That banish was doing so much damage. If it knocked the other way, that was a dead Kazan.
Yeah, but Twisty doing a good job staying alive, understanding the assignment, able to, hey, I'm staggered. I don't need to be in the middle of everything right now, and stay alive. Get their stagger back up. But the core back on the side of Rose Petals, and Ember's Flame just really trying to make something happen here. But this defense combination of Luke and Doxy is just so hard for them to get through with this comp here.
Doxy and Twisty now. Firewall Sentry up. The triple take does solid. But unfortunately, flip has to be wasted from Sylvia. That's still a take, though, from Mr. Zerd sniping in. But Luke with the patience. Oh, dangerous spots. And those bounces end up being Luke's downfall. Tofu Fortress not looking too solid there.
Dubu's ult is a perfectly functioning ability. Changed my mind. But no, it's a good attempt. But sometimes that's just how the Tofu falls. Kind of the risk of Dubu's ult here. But we do see Timeless coming up. I'm not sure. Yeah, it had been Timeless or Twin Drive that Rune would be looking for. Timeless, good on Rune, but also a good deny from the Aimi here.
Yeah, team player scary, though, on Luke. Going to make the team a lot more capable in terms of the passing play, and that's what they were lacking, I think. Their passing plays were getting sniped quite a bit by any one of the three members of Ember's Flame. So if Rose can use the core speed to their advantage to try and overwhelm the Finny goalie, that could be a huge upside for them.
Yeah, we do see a spark going to Sylvia and Zert. Going to be interesting to see if they can scale on that. It's kind of that risk of investment if any other sparks come up in a draft you can take. So kind of playing a long game here, but Ember's able to get that first barrier at this point and keep the possession over there, and a Timeless Rune Pillar not quite on the edge, and Doxy able to get it around and get it out, but the core comes right back with this nice control Ember's Flame is showing here.
Oh, and they barely let the core slip by. Sylvia not quite at the perfect angle, but the core slips right past the Tofu Fortress as well. A gap at the bottom just like the pillar earlier. And Ember's Flame, they look like they're in full control of this game.
Yeah, and kind of an unfortunate bounce, but Sylvia pushing a little too far forward to come back and catch it, but it's been working out for them, able to Sylvia allowing them to keep that pressure there, that giving up one barrier, you know what, sometimes it's worth it if you can get a point.
Yeah, and again, the confidence from Sylvia is very, very impressive on this Ember's Flame roster. Stepping up when it's necessary, defending quite well on the Finny. Unfortunately, I've cursed her yet again as the barrier falls, but it's traded on the other side. A good strike out from Mr. Zert with the flip. It's going to do the job here.
Yeah, and like I keep saying, barriers are resources. I feel like Sylvia can take all the risks in the world as long as they're not giving up both barriers. If it's one, it's fine. Honestly, it's probably going to be a bit easier for you to defend. But if you are going to give up a barrier, make sure you get something out of it. Get a KO going, get another barrier like we saw there. So their decision making has been honestly pretty good. But unfortunately, just with almost the entirety of Roses there, does kind of lose that second barrier, but able to return the favor. And now it's a full open goal on both sides here.
Oh, Luke through the portal, but it goes directly to Mr. Zert. Now Jay setting up in the corner. Dangerous spot for Luke, and Twisty misses the strike completely. Oh no, the Rose Petals not looking too great here.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was like miss a strike. Maybe they were kind of caught off guard by the timeless timing of those pillars just lasting that much longer. But yeah, that's kind of what I was saying going into this. Rune kind of struggles until they get something they want, that timeless or those ability usages. So as long as Roses is not eating those pillars and they're allowed to fully form, Jay can have pretty good control of the field on this Rune.
Yeah, Twisty running for life right now, trying to pick up an orb, does so. Mr. Zert looking for both barriers here. Flips in the midst of the Tofu Fortress. It's looking just solid enough, but the pillars are even more solid. In fact, they're actually solid. not
Yeah.
just Tofu Fortress levels of solid. Luke now in a dangerous spot, 1v3, flips it forward. Sylvia has the flip just in time, perfectly timed, perfectly placed. And once again, it's a Sylvia masterclass, keeping the power play alive. But Mr. Zert and Jay needed to score there, because when there's a Fini up in the open field, that Aimee cyber swipe is going to be quite devastating.
Yeah, like Sylvia, like you said, doing a great job allowing Embers to kind of keep that power play going, keep the offensive going. But Luke, we've seen time and time again, one of the best goalies in NASA, able to just lock it down, keep possession of it. But as soon as Doxy comes back in on that Aimee, Sylvia was still caught out in the midfield and just not able to come back in time to have an answer for that cyber swipe.
And they might convert that all the way into another set here. Twisty, though, on the offense, looking low, but looking like she can take some of these barriers away. Dangerous Spanish. Tofu Fortress, wrong side, but they managed to escape from that situation, but the barrier still stands for Ember's Flame. Ember's Flame still with a massive lead here. Flip available for Mr. Zert. Roll wasted. Luke has some reaction time as Mr. Zert tries to get it past the Dubu the straightforward way. Not going to be too hard to react to for Luke.
Yeah, Zert flipping right in front of Luke, just kind of waiting for them to flinch, and Luke doesn't. Zert just kind of forces to strike on that last frame that you can on that flip to get the core speed out of it, but Luke's ready for it. Luke has an answer, and...
Oh, no, Luke. I mean, bad things were happening in that corner, and you sent it up there.
Yeah.
As a goalie, I understand. If it's a safer place, it like feels good to strike it there, but it's overtime and the Rune Pillar will not be very predictable in the corner. And now it's going to be even more difficult with either Rapid Fire or Castellast probably falling here for the Rune or Prime Time. But yeah, it's a Castellast.
Castellast.
Yeah.
Yeah, those pillars lasting longer, that Banish lasting longer. This rune might start becoming a bit of a problem for Roses now. They've got two things that they want. Dubu does have that prime time, and Luke has been making great use of that Dubu log, as we see right out of the gate, trying to get some value out of it. So having another one of those in the bank might feel good, but I don't think a log's going to beat out a pillar, especially one that lasts. What are we looking at? 75% duration and 40% duration on those pillars.
Yeah, and Twisty on the rebound, looking quite confident here with both barriers taken. Great clear by Luke around the pillars. Great passing plays all the way around the world. Masterclass from Rose on that point, mixing up every single aspect of the Ember defense.
Yeah, just kind of sending it through that portal, getting it back to Twisty, and Sylvia kind of trusting that Rune Pillar would hold just a little bit longer, but unfortunately Roses was able to get the core to Twisty just in time for that pillar to go away and find an easy open goal that Sylvia just could not reach.
Yeah, now a bit of a dangerous spot here for Sylvia. Once again, has flip available, but needs to use it at the right time because Mr. Zert's going in. Oh, both barriers taken in an instant by Mr. Zert with help of the flip, and now looking for the goal itself. Good flip out from Luke to not get banished, but still a 1v2. Twisty dropping back to help out, but it's just a non-portal shot from Sylvia. Good awareness to not hit it right into the Tofu Fortress there.
Yeah, phenomenal awareness. Either seeing or just hearing Tofu Fortress, knowing Luke is dropping that in the portal and just sending it straight across to Zert, and Luke on his slow Dubu, no speed, is not able to catch it.
Castellast proving to be a huge pain for the side of the Rose Petals right now. The Rune vanishes, extending. Great save by Sylvia, but it's still going to be a barrier take. It's going to be two barrier takes with the Firewall Sentry. And if Doxy can maintain possession, unfortunately can't do so, but the passing plays are still coming in. The coverage not quite there, but Twisty one more chance. Doxy a little bit too ambitious, but does nullify the pillar. And a great banish by Jay. Takes the barrier, but Luke gets out of there without the goal being scored just yet. Last chance for Rose. They need to find something, and they need to find something quick here.
Yeah, and it seems like this match is really coming down to the midfielders. Rune is finally scaled into the awakenings that they want. Doxy making such great use of these turrets and these cyber swipes, and the midfield just allowing the forwards to, once they can get some kind of pressure going, to keep it there and keep the core moving in the direction that they want. So these midfielders are, I feel like this is a midfielders game, where the last one was a goalie game, and just seeing which team can kind of get this pressure going longer and get more results.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes here. Twisty sending it forward. This is a big point for Rose. If they can take this, they can mount a huge comeback, because they'll start scaling, they'll start surviving, and most importantly, Ember's Flame. This is not an easy comp to play mechanically.
No, there's a lot of Zentaro, Finny, Rune, these very like mechanically difficult to pick up and very taxing characters to play, just because of kind of how much forethought you need in each of your abilities. It's not like an X or an Asher where you just like stuff it straight through. You kind of like think 3 steps ahead of where the cores go.
That missed strike shot was almost devastating, but Luke stays alive just barely by pixels, and now Twisty and Doxy are advancing on the offense. Doesn't go through the portal. Weird banish from Jay. That means Twisty has another chance here. So many rebounds as Twisty tries to find the shot. Not quite available here. A portal shot from Jay. Doxy up to Twisty, and the Rose Petals will find their set. Maybe the start of reverse sweep here.
Yeah, and this is where you want to be a Rose. Ember's Flame already has a lot of the awakenings that they want, so there's not going to be much insane scaling they can get that Ember's Flame can't also scale off of. And we're seeing an Ego Catalyst and Perfect Form here. But Kazan picking up that Perfect Form, probably for the survivability, but that speed is going to be nice as well.
Yeah, Twisty and Doxy have been getting chipped out quite a bit here, so any survivability is good in terms of awakenings. We'll have to see how it goes here. And that peak performance, like you said, is going to do a lot of work.
Yep, and that's right. We do have a second Spark on Xert now. Getting that Spark of Resilience and Spark of Agility. So building up those staggers is going to be a lot harder for Xert to get staggered, which Zentaro notoriously kind of known for being a little squishy. But I feel like Xert's been getting KO'd mostly by just getting caught off guard on the edge quite a bit. But that speed, allowing them to just move around that much quicker, I think is going to be the deciding factor in kind of what Xert's looking for here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Well, the Rose Petal still looking very chipped out. Twisty taking so much damage, even the peak performance not quite saving her at the moment, but it's still a scoring attempt. Twisty, so much dash range all the way up to the top side, finds the goal, and it feels like the Rose Petals have the momentum behind them.
Yeah, it seems like that point was just everything going for them. Luke feeling perfectly comfortable walking up as far as they did. Again, gave up one barrier, but that's nothing. Nothing in this game. It's all about that second barrier. A banish into double pillar almost finds a KO, but Twisty able to get shot through the portal. Nice little handy save there, thanks to this map.
Yep, Twisty, 2 barriers down. Now the Rose Petals, the game's looking completely different after they can play comfortably up the field. They're just advancing without a care in the world. Luke, of course, going to lose a barrier here, but the core will still find its way to the other side of the map. Not quite, as Mr. Xert and Jay advance, try to find something here.
Yeah, just trying to pass around Luke on this Dubu, but Luke's positioning and just awareness of the field and kind of what they can risk and still be fine and still help their forwards without giving away too much is phenomenal here. And again, Rose Petals here playing such good positioning here, allowing Luke to push forward on the lower side where their barrier is and is kind of the threat if Embers does get it past the forwards. And then the forwards just staying one top, one bottom, and not really letting Sylvia have a way out.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a huge return KO, though. That completely halts the momentum here. for the Rose gives Ember a lot to play for, but Sylvia a little bit too aggressive there. Means Twisty can capitalize, gets both barriers. I didn't expect that. I expected one, but that's 2 barriers in the entire goal for Twisty. That's a set.
That is a very quick set. That is a deep contrast to what we've seen this entire game. A lot of back and forth, and I think Rose Petals has finally scaled to where they want to be and finally has an answer for these rune pillars. The Sylvia confidence pushing up, and I think it's now Ember's Flame needs to find some. This whole game, it's been Rose Petals trying to find an answer for Ember's Flame. I think Ember's Flame is now in the position where they need to find an answer for Rose Petals, and they have this one draft to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be even more difficult. Doxy picked up survivability with that Stagger Swagger, and importantly, even more size on Twisty, looking downright massive right now with double size awakenings, extra stagger, slightly extra speed, the cherry on top as Luke also going to get core speed. That's Mr. Zerk going down. That's the Rose Petals in full control. What a huge turnaround by them.
Yeah, an unfortunate Zentaro dash and just kind of gets caught in the middle of ability, gets thrown off the edge, but Ember's Flame able to hold off long enough, not lose that second barrier, but the core's still over there. They still trying to triple goalie this, save this, and they can't, and that second barrier goes down, and Rose Petals looking very comfortable right now.
Oh, that's not a good spot to be in the Tofu Fortress. They managed to reroute the core out of there, just barely, but Twisty will find the rebound, will find the goal. 2 goals away now, Rose Petals from cleaning up this series.
Yeah, Rose Petals just feeling so confident. Luke literally just walking straight into Ember's goal arc and just dropping that tofu.
Oh.
And
What was that?
Zentaro dash, but I don't know what got the hit off.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a confusing KO, but Doxy now, flip available. Twisty was brought low, but regen so much, has so much stagger, so bulky on that Kazan, not being taken out here. Flip available now, Doxy setting it all the way down to Twisty, who wins a simple strike war with the press to points. Pretty simple if you're the Kazan, not simple if you're against it, and Doxy, what a redirect, 1 goal away. We're counting down now.
We're pretty much welcome to the new year, and it looks like is going to be Rose Petals' year. They've scaled, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way for like what Ember needs to do to like counter this Rose's builds here, their setup, and I got nothing. They just have so much pressure on the offense. They have such good defense with Luke on that Dubu. Doxy come back to help, and all that survivability they picked up is just going to make it that much harder for Embers to get those KOs that they've been kind of looking for this entire game.
2 barriers down in an instant. 1 barrier traded. No, Luke denies that still. Okay, Mr. Zerk, good follow-up to take that barrier, but it's still an open net. Ember's Flame looking, but that's Twisty taken out. Big opportunity now for the side of Ember's Flame. If they can find a passing play, the Rose Petals needs to watch out. Luke tries to clear down, but Mr. Zerk, good prediction. And okay, it's not over yet. The countdown is halted.
Yeah, it's just a little halt. Dixie, I think, kind of realizing, throwing that sorry out there, kind of a little out of position, but that Zentaro passive built up just in time for Zerk to get that goal. But again, Roses just gets it over there, and once they get it over there, they find the barrier, and Ember's Flame able to send it back and get that second, getting both barriers.
It's at 5.5, guys.
Oh my God.
How do we let this happen?
I don't know what's going on at this point. It's basically whoever decides goalies are optional and just goes triple forward seems to be the play.
Ember's Flame has explosively brought it back in a set where it looked like they were out of it for the first 2 points. It's all about who can stay on the offense here, who can maintain the corner, and right now it seems like Ember's Flame has a good shot at it with the pillar setup. They get it away though. Really dangerous spot here for the Rose Petals, but they escape, and Twisty now back to healthy. Trying to push up into the corner now. Mr. Zerk preventing it for the moment. They need to get it out of the corner, and they do to the other side. The big finish interrupted by Twisty. 1 barrier taken. Twisty needs to maintain possession here. Does so with the open primary, and Doxy's there to follow up. The Banish catches the core at the perfect time to hold on, and it goes back to Luke and Doxy. But Twisty's once again in the corner. Mr. Zerk sending it forward is so huge for Ember's Flame, but it's such a close point so far.
Yeah, Ember's Flame needs to get that. All three of them keep coming back because they know they cannot lose this barrier, and it's just going to be all over for them. They are fighting tooth and nail, and in trying to get it, Swift, perfect banish flip, gets the shadow shot, and Jay scores it.
And we're heading to a game 3. That game, after the turnaround, I didn't think Ember's Flame could do it. I was a doubter. I wrote them off.
I was in the same boat, but that last set it was back and forth. It's like there was no midfield. It was offense on one side, offense on the other side. There was no playing in the midfield that last set, and I think both teams knew it was just like triple goalie, get it out to the other side, and just full on triple forward and try to get that last point, and Ember's Flame able to squeak it out.
Yeah, well, heading on to the final game, it's going to be on Clarion. And on Clarion, this is such a neutral map, relatively speaking. Of course, there are a lot of quirks with it having 5 different variants, but, well, this is going to be very, very interesting to watch. I'm wondering what composition Ember's going to bring to the table on this one.
Yeah, Ember's kind of been all over the place. At this point, it's a grab bag. Who knows what they're going to bring to the table? Sylvia looking very confident on that Finny, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pick that up. Finny, I don't know. I'm not much of a fan of the Clarion map just because there are so many different things to take into consideration. You have to learn how to play 5 different variants. So I don't think one character is good on all of them. So comps are going to be, I think, Ember's Flame, they've been doing some goofy comps. That last one was a bit more standard in the sense. But if there ever was a map that could allow some of these comps to show their stuff, the different variants of Clarion, I think might be it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what map they go to here. That's going to be a big part of... Not map. Why did I say that? We're going to see what awakenings are going to be on the board here. I auto-piloted right into that for some reason. And taking a peek at the draft, we can talk a little bit more about it because we have the awakenings. Built different. Rapid fire. How do you think that will change things?
Ooh. Built diff. So on the roses, just from... They've been kind of running those standard comps. I am expecting them to pick up a brawler, especially with that built diff coming up. So maybe an X, but I also know Rasmus can be very good on a lot of the different variants. And so getting the size on Rasmus, I think would be very good for any brawler. On the side of Embers, no comment. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they do. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It looks like they're taking a bit of a bathroom break after that set 5.5 match, and I don't blame them too much.
I have a question for you, Saya.
Okay.
What's your favorite variant on Clarion?
My favorite variant? I think it has to be the Bounce House. I think it has to be Project Base Drop because as dumb as it is, as much as it is the Inky Splash Zone of Clarion, some of the best moments have been made there.
I completely agree with that. I was going to say Bounce House is probably my favorite as a forward. I hate it as goalie, though, because those bumpers inside your goal box, those horizontal ones, make it so tricky to figure out which way the forward's going to strike it. But as a forward, those bumpers are so fun to play with. It's basically Tycho in my books.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see what exactly goes on here, as we're still waiting for the character select. And I think that we're going to see a pretty similar look from the side of the Rose Petals. It's worked for them pretty solidly throughout the entire season, through 2 games of this. Unfortunately, they couldn't close that one out. And we're probably just going to see Kazan with some kind of core control midfielder with a melee goalie. That's the recipe for success here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be too shocked if we saw a similar comp that we saw in Goo with Kazan forward. I mean, midfield wouldn't be bad. Uh, Luke has the Dubu, the Atlas, to lock it down. So Roses, I think that's a, I think that's a pretty safe guess on what their comp's going to be, and it really just comes down to what Ember's going to ban on them.
Yeah.
But
There's a good chance Ember just picks away the Kazan too. Mr. Zert has played it a lot in the past. And did you know it being taken away? Wait, am I mixing up my sides right now? No, I'm not. Yeah, there's a chance that Ember. Oh, okay, they prioritize the IME for J, which does leave Kazan open for Twisty, and I think even though it's an IME on J, I think Rose Petals are happy about that. I think they'll pick like Kazan and a midfielder here, and you just pick goalie last pick and chill, like a relaxing draft experience.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good midfields there. They could pick up we saw them on the Kai on Tycho. They could pick up the in Estelle, not a bad pick. But we do see Roses picking up, yep, Erasmus.
Yes.
Is that Erasmus goalie, do we think?
I think it's most likely Erasmus forward, but it could be a goalie. It definitely could be flexed. Clarion is one of Erasmus goalie's better maps, so I would not be surprised at all in that aspect. Now, also a flex pick, by the way. So I don't think we know where anything is going. I think we can make some educated guesses, but we don't know exactly where everything is going right now. Let's be real.
No, and at least we are seeing Sylvia back on the Fanny and Zert picking up the X. Again, Size Awakenings, Brawlers love it, so not a bad pick. That has to be an Atlas goalie. I refuse to believe that's an Atlas forward from Rose.
Okay,
So we are going to see a Rasmus forward now in the midfield. That is a really good counter pick because they do have the Finny and X on the other side, and Imi also known for doing a lot of damage. So now might be doing a little bit of healing this match is kind of my guess.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes here. Especially because again, like it's core control with a melee goalie with a brawler that has agency. It's the Rose special. It's not the Rose special. Many teams pick this kind of comp, but this is the special that Rose chooses to use.
Yeah, and honestly, all good. I think all of these are good picks here, good viable picks. Embers isn't like the wacky Embers pick that we saw in like the first game. This is definitely a more traditional. The Finny goalie is viable. I've seen a lot of like good Finny goalies, and Sylvia's showing time and time again how comfortable they are with it. So this might be a more traditional match, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes here. Yeah, again, very impressed with Sylvia's performance. It is looked very confident. That's the important thing, right? When I look at people in the leagues in like NASA and Nassau, Nassau players don't have to worry. They're all confident. But in NASA, there's like a clear difference between players that are and aren't confident in how they walk with the core and how they strike and how they use strike shot. Sylvia looks confident, and that is incredibly impressive for a substitute.
And especially with like some of these, I don't want to call them like maybe like aggressive goalies. He's like smaller goalies. He's not your Dubu, not your Atlas, but these smaller goalies. What that confidence allows you to do is actually like walk up and challenge the forward, knowing that you have the strike mechanics, you have the ability usage to win that strike wars, rather than just sitting back in your goal box and letting that forward set up. Sylvia has that confidence to deny the forwards from setting up on her, which it would be a struggle for any Finny if like a Julie or in this case a Rasmus dribbles it up and sets up that primary stuff.
Yeah, and Mr. Zert on the X, the pick that he was known for most historically. This is going to be a signature pick that's going to come in huge here. Equipping the Demon Hours emote as well. Quite thematically appropriate. Ember's Flame really, really, really need a win here. If they don't, then their playoff dreams are very far away. Like, I think it's still technically possible, but it doesn't usually happen.
No, but it's Ember's Flame really wants to win this. But with Xur on that X, kind of historically known for it, so we know they're good, is taking a little bit of damage here, but as soon as they can get some of that forward pressure going, oh, we know Xur can make it happen, but not from beyond the grave. But Jay can make it happen with a perfectly timed glitch pop.
After the KO, Rose went on autopilot mode a little bit, and Jay capitalized instantly. She calls Aimee her one-trick now. It was Juno. She was known for being a Juno one-trick, but maybe it's true. Maybe the Aimee is the one-trick now because she looks so in her element on this pick.
I feel like most people that are one-tricks are Aimee one-tricks, but that kind of just shows how good of a character and how good of a kit Aimee has.
Yeah, it allows you to do so many things. Twisty, though, scary 1v1, but Jay, no hesitation, blinks backwards so fast. I didn't even think there was a wind-up on that. Like, the decision was so quickly made. Still a dangerous spot here for Ember as their barriers are down, and the KO is found once again on Mr. Xur. But you can't blame him too much, right? It is the Obscura variant. You do take a ton of damage, but with that power play this time, no big mistakes made by Rose. They push up, Twisty gets the goal, and it's 1-1.
And Twisty and Xur were basically staggered each other at the exact same time, but when you have an Atlas and a Now backing you up, Twisty gets unstaggered back to full health while Xur is still trying to find an orb, trying to find someplace safe to be. And like you said, on that Obscura variant, there's not a lot of safety.
Not a lot at all. Have to see how these bounces go. This is her to the top side. Twisty on the bottom looking for the rebound. Here is Twisty. Weird hook angle, but it keeps the offense up for a moment. They're trying to get it past Mrs. Xur here, but the Firewall Sentry is going to prove to be a bit of an obstacle as Luke making it hard in the midfield.
Yeah, and we've seen kind of these past couple games that Ember's Flame does really good at hitting these abilities on Roses to get this damage out, but I think that now in this Atlas is going to Embers is not going to be able to find the power plays as much as they have been. And so far we are seeing Rose finding significantly more power plays, getting the damage out on Xur and getting that X out of the match.
Yeah, and they're going to keep on going. Mr. Xur has been targeted so far this entire match, of course, pretty telling as he sits at level 2. So we'll see if he can survive and thrive maybe as one barrier's down on each side.
Yeah, and like as soon as they get Twisty down even just a little bit, like less than like a second, maybe 2 seconds, right back to full stagger, I don't think they're gonna be able to find that damage pressure that they've been relying on so like this entire series, it feels like. And this might be where Embers has to pull out their core control, their passing plays, and to get it around without having that power play going for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see. This is a very solid set win for Rose as they try to advance and close out this game. But I'm not disliking the awakenings coming out from Ember's Flame at all. Timeless Creator on the Aimee and Hotshot on the Fini. Not bad in the start of some Sparks going perhaps, but of course, Fighter Flight on Rasmus is going to be so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, and especially Twisty doesn't really have to fear about getting staggered. They're going to get their health back pretty quick. But I do think X is notoriously known for kind of like being that scaling late game, that it is kind of up to Sylvia and Jay to hold it out and able to make something happen to get this into set 4, set 5, so Xur can like scale into this. And unfortunately, just these team plays between Doxy and Twisty just dishing out the damage, making Jay kind of have to stick to the corner so that they really just kind of have to focus on getting this play around Sylvia. But Xur finding a nice KO.
Yeah, nice KO. Big opportunity now for Mrs. Xur, but a Luke digging it out from the very bottom here. Wow, what a save. And now Luke and Twisty are pushing up. Mr. Zert, though, finding the KO, blowing up Twisty, making it so difficult for Rose right now as the bull rush in. Perfect timing. It's 1-1.
Who knew all Zert needed was just that little bit of power from Spark of Strength to find these KOs? But Zert, phenomenal on the X, and they are proving it right here, right now. That doesn't matter if you have 2 healers, Zert will find a way.
Zert will indeed, but the size is taken by Doxy. Big opportunity for Doxy to push up here, but Zert is continuing on the offense. He was invisible for the first set, but he is very, very visible right now.
Yeah, finally hit that level 2, able to get that X Maximus, and able to position himself in just the right place to find these KOs, find these damaging opportunities, and really start throwing Rose Petals onto their back heels and kind of worry about giving up those KOs a little bit more than that first set.
What a shot by Sylvia. Hot shot. Card all the way across the map. Twisty now in danger. Jay, very proficient at the KO combo as it appears. Misses her a little bit early on the flip, but possession still maintained by the X to the top side. Looking for the strike to the bottom. Rebounding all across the map over and over as Jay sends it forward, but Mr. Zert, wow, just so solid with the follow-ups this set. Huge turnaround.
Yeah, Zert was just warming up. Zert just had to do that one set, warm up, get their mechanics going, and now Zert has fully come awakened and able to find these dashes, find these strike wars, and even though that last set they were insanely low, not afraid to dash in and challenge Luke with that bull rush strike to secure the point.
Yeah, not concerned at all here. Twisty and Doxy. Twisty blown up again. Jay turning this around with the KO pressure with the power plays.
Yeah, and I think just now that Zert has finally been able to get some of that experience, level up, get that stagger, so he's not as easy to dump damage on that he was that first set. But Rose is still able to find the damage, find the stagger, and Twisty with a nice death touch. But Sylvia and Jay able to find a nice counter KO on Doxy, and now it is full goal open on both sides here.
Luke's got to be very careful against Jay at the moment. Flip available. This Aimee is looking incredibly dangerous. Flip available for Sylvia as well is going to make it so difficult to get in there as Twisty tries to find the hook, but it's deflected away by Zert. Doxy trying to send it forward. Luke, flip available, does send it away, but it goes right back to Sylvia. Perfect strike shot. Twisty forced away again, trying to find a pendulum swing, but it's once again saved. Doxy's in so much trouble now. Needs to get it around Mr. Zert, but that X is looking huge. The rebound's off the corner. Jay setting up now. Firewall sentry. Twisty takes the rebound, runs with it, finds the hook. Perfect prediction.
That was a perfect read on Twisty, pulling the hook back and basically sending it straight back where it came from, baiting at the strike and able to time out the abilities. And Sylvia and Jay just not able to predict that death touch return.
One more goal is all it takes to close this set out in the favor of the Rose Petals to put them up in a 2-0 lead. Ember's Flame does not want that to occur, of course, as Doxy trying to trade primaries with Sylvia, but Sylvia gets the better until the flip arrives. Twisty making an unfair battle. Another hook to cover the options. The pendulum swing, though, not enough size to cover everything there. And Twisty now incredibly low, flipped off the map. Big power play opportunity for Ember's Flame.
Yeah, Zert using, not afraid, know that they can get the barrier without that flip, using it and actually using it for the KO just so they can get that pressure, because Twisty just doing so much work in Ember's goal box, kind of forcing Sylvia and Jay to stand back, that if Zert can get Twisty out of the map, then they can get a 2, maybe a 3-person push going to get this final barrier and kind of make Luke have to work for these. But unfortunately, Rose able to keep control of it, and Doxy just keeps sending it back to the side of Ember Flame, and Twisty right there to finally secure the goal.
3 goals remain to erase the memories of the previous game where it was at 5.5 and Rose could not close it out. Instead, we arrive here at a draft with Stagger denied away, with the Spark Scaling denied away, but Perfect Form is still falling to Mr. Zerd an incredibly scary proposition here, especially with Twisty at last pick. That Rasmus is not gonna get a Demolitionist, it looks like. No, actually, it's actually Special with the Abyss. Looks for both sides going up in strength quite rapidly at the moment, but yeah, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, I was expecting Sylvia and Jay kind of discussing who's going to deny the size from Twisty, and I am kind of surprised that they let him have it. Twisty just has been doing so much work and having that bigger strike box, bigger hit box on that primary and those secondary recasts is just going to make it so much more difficult for Sylvia and Jay to deal with, and then Doxy just shoving into that corner so Twisty can just recast that secondary to get it past that Finny secondary.
Yeah, and again, like Rasmus fighter play in size, such a scary proposition. Twisty, so massive, she's all over the map right now. In the previous set, it was a little bit of the size that was keeping her under check, but now the pendulum swing truly covers every option. One opportunity and she will score here. It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah, we do see 3 flips on the side of Embers, but we see 2 flips on the side of Embers, but I don't know. They're having such a hard time getting the core in a position for them to make anything happen. But Luke with these clears right out of Zert's reach and just using these bumpers to send it across the map, and in that sized buff, double size on the Twisty. Yeah, she's just, if the core gets to her, she's just gonna run away with it. She's just gonna push it through.
We will see how it goes here. But right now it's looking all rose petals. Twisty though incredibly low, needs to be careful, but healed up by Luke. Important to keep the Erasmus alive when that's most of your offense. Doxy keeping the core up, but good strikes by Sylvia. But it is looking so difficult as Doxy keeps the control. Twisty seals it away. Open net. All it takes is one more shot by Twisty or Doxy. Pushing in and Twisty overcommitting into the corner. But Luke has flip available. Walking all the way up. Looking for the rebound. Flip to the bottom side. Jay reacts in time. But Luke keeping the possession. Forward. We'll have primary soon. But a good strike by Mr. Zerd makes the emergency a little bit safer. But Twisty has respawned.
Yeah, Ember's Flame, even though they had the striker advantage, Rose Petals showing all the confidence in the world and kind of being more of a threat than they should have been with a striker down. But that just goes to show the confidence of Luke and the proficiency they have with this with Atlas.
Oh, really good weight by Doxy. Strike warring the X Maximus from Mr. Zerd. Twisty looking to close it out, and that's it. Rose Petals cleaning it up. 2-1. They advance to 5-2. They keep their winner's side hopes very much in control. And Ember's Flame, valiant attempt, close 3 games, but unfortunately, I mean, the Rose Petals, they're playing so well.
They're playing so well. They have Luke in the goal box, who just felt like they had an answer to just about everything. And so when you have a goalie that can just lock it down, and especially that last game there, just allowing Twisty and Doxy to push forward, stay more on the offensive. I don't think there were very few times Doxy ever had to come back to help Luke defend. But I think as soon as Twisty got that double size, that was kind of the game. Embers did a great job controlling the core, pushing it forward, but I think they needed to get a way to neutralize Twisty. And when you're running a kind of a damage comp into a double healer, that's almost not an option. And yeah, Roses just kind of had everything going for them into the last set. Not to take away from Embers, they had a phenomenal 3 games here. Really close on that first one, taking it to set 5.5, and one of the more exciting matches I've seen as of late on the Gates of Obscura. But yeah, on this Clarion, it seemed like Rose Petals knew what they needed to do. They had a plan. They stuck to it, and it worked for them. And it is kind of a plan that didn't really have an easy answer to.
Well, on that note, congratulations to the Rose Petals. I've disappeared from reality. Goodbye, everyone. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Hello. We are back.
Welcome back to the main stream on Bestie and Slot. From anyone who was just watching the winners finals on Gret22, Twitch.tv, we took a 3-0 over Beef, and we're moving into loser semis, where Berto will be playing against Team Greece to face off against Beef in the losers finals.
That's right. The winner of this determines who makes top 3, and it will be a pretty interesting match. I've seen both of the names before a few times, but I'm not too knowledgeable on either of the players.
I'm gonna be honest. All the names I've seen, like in tournament or in ranked, it's a blur. I have no idea.
I mean,
They could both be Lowain players for all I know, and I would have no idea.
I'm down for that. I mean,
Yeah, have a bit of a
I'd like
bros.
to see it. Yeah.
I read down with starting up. I kind of can't see I'm squinting really hard, can barely see the room, but I think one person is set up at the cabinet. Yeah, that's what they're called. All
right, the drill is on the UL.
Oh, actually, I think I do remember that from ranked. Actually, I lied. That sounds right.
Oh, but earlier in the bracket, actually, Tiempo Greece 2-0'd Fredruary, who's another UL player.
Not a good look for drill, showing matchup prowess from Tiempo Greece for whoever they play. But will that be? Is that a Beatrice?
Yes.
Beatrix, yeah. Okay. So can you stream? Yes, it's there.
Alright, starting out, Vigil versus Tiempo Greece, UL versus Beatrix. And the jump in immediately calling out the far medium. It's a really big, sets the tempo almost.
Starting out very strong. However, Vidor is able to find a sweep to get out of the corner and is pushing back fiercely. Just forcing out a brave counter out of Tiempo Greece. Both players down 1. Just kind of trading blows in the mid screen right now. Back and forth. EP coming out. TP coming out again.
Oh boy. Yeah, neither player really wants to give up their turn because both of them have some pretty solid offense and access to plus frames. So a lot of brave counters and DPs might come out in this set. A really good low conversion. There's an overhead and UL gets smashed on. Okay. A solid offense while it lasted.
I mean, this is a pretty crazy offensive game. Both players kind of just taking turns, throwing out their buttons. Oh, but a dash medium finds the overhead. The single hit is able to close out the round.
The drill's been kind of getting stuffed out by these fireballs from Beatrix, actually. The old fireball especially, because it just comes out so fast and gets a hard knockdown, Tiempo Greece has been finding a lot of value from just throwing those out in neutral.
Yeah, you'll not really having that many tools to deal with the fireball. Can't just sit there and block it. Can't really fire back to anything on their own, but the stance form is getting a lot of value with these 50-50s, overheads into lows, and pushes Greece to spend a brave counter, but finds TP and is able to take the corner.
Oh, that's punishable though. This could be a big swing in favor. The drill going for a Raging Strike instead of Sleeper because this route does a lot of damage from UL. But they will have that lacking Rhombus as a result.
That sweep was, I believe, actually punishable for Tempo Grease, but decides options for the Brave counter, scared of the plus version that could have come out. But uses an unsafe version of the slide, and Vidril is able to find the round by just punishing it.
Yeah, really betting it all like Beatrix's tend to, because if that slide did connect, that would probably be the entire round. So, I mean, the risk reward is, it could be either way. Deciding to gamble at all. Far medium from UL is having that insane control over the neutral and setting up this really good stance offense. Lots of overheads, lots of potential lows, and if the low connects, it's big damage, but Tempo just finds their way out with the DP.
Yeah, but even after Tempo manages to get out, Vidril is just not giving up any space, trying to stop Tempo from taking really anything on them, trying to keep their get their turn back, steal it, keep it for as long as possible. And we can even see it now with how scary this offense is. Tempo is just forced to block in the corner until the DP comes out.
DP can have a conversion, but Tempo drop it. Reaction super to the slide. This is insane. No Rhombus is on the side of Vidril here. This could be a massive shift. Lots of damage on the super.
A huge chunk of damage. Oh, but the wake up grab, not even letting Tempo do anything, and manages to steal the round off of getting knocked down.
Just letting it fly. I respect it. I respect it.
No fear from Vidril.
There's
And
a
really
ton
no
of
fear
it,
from
too.
either of these players. Both just looking for their strong buttons that lead into high conversions or just to start their own offense. Seeing coming out from Vidril, but not letting any of that happen. And will DP's out, finds the far late, and just starting their own offense, both from the mid screen. However, Yule manages to push Beatrice into the corner again and gets a full conversion, possibly even leading to super.
Oh, for sure. Lots of damage from the low, because Tempo is looking for another overhead there, but this is what you get for blocking high. Oh, throw bait comes out. That's the entire round. Solid. Okay.
Yeah, Tempo seems to have dropped the close light conversion. It was a little awkward because it started airborne, so the last hit didn't connect, but again, just looking at this neutral, both players just swinging from almost full screen with their long range like dashes, just looking to find anything to get in.
Ooh, a lot of DP reversals from Tempo just on this pressure, and it feels like Vidril doesn't really have the room to bait it out. They haven't been really going for it that much. A slide on the clash will get a solid conversion for Tempo. There's a super, and a lot of damage coming in.
It gets the hard knockdown, doesn't look for anything special, however, does find the command grab. Vidril is in one range to lose to almost anything here, and gets caught out by the low, and the simple far light closes out the round.
That's right, that command grab putting you into that range where the next one will kill, and it's so scary, because you kind of just have to start guessing at that point.
Yeah, once you get that low, you can't just take the grab, as one might say, because it forces you to take action, which unfortunately for Vidril did lead to them losing the round. However, Tempo not wanting to guess at all, just the DPs stopping any attempt at even a safe jab.
Well, even the ult DP in a way is a guess. It's just a different kind of it, but a lot of overheads coming in. Another one, and there's a low, but it gets DP'd out.
And not having any of that. Oh, good anti-air coming out with from the far light, just covering all the space that Yule might try to dash in on, either using her fast run or even her little hops. It's threatening Vidril into the corner, and with the low health install thing, finds a full conversion off the slide and goes into super, closing out game 2 on
big
1.
conversion. Just letting fly the far heavy and neutral, going into the slide, and because he has that time to slow, it gives him a full conversion to super there.
Once again, round starting off strong, catches out any attempt to press on their minus frames with a DP, and Tempo is going to a high damage combo in the corner. This is what Beatrice was known for scary offense with all the weight, for good buttons, a lot of weight speed plus, and a command grab. Vidril's not having any of that. Getting a Brave counter out, starting their own pressure from the mid-screen, and these overheads just keep, these high-low mixes just keep catching Tempo out, and we're getting a full conversion again in the corner.
It feels like every time Vigil goes for the low, that's just the moment Tiempo isn't blocking low. He's getting this kind of mix-up game really, really solid this set.
Yeah, and it was insane damage coming out from Yule, and no Rhombuses left for Beatrice. An next hit will kill, and a close jab is what closes out the round.
Yeah, just too many Rhombuses spent. He's spending Brave counters, he's getting supered, and that'll just make his HP so low. The slide gets a conversion here. This could be some scary offense. Run up grab. Oh,
Misses the safe
meaty.
jab. Yeah, no meaty, allowing Tempo to mash out. And attempts to catch out the... I mean, the multi-hit DP just beat the other multi-hit DP. Just throwing that out
DP
there.
splash, but US won.
More hits, more winning. Meaty fireball is dodged by the jump backwards, but manages to DP to force Tempo or Vigil into the corner and gets a brave counter out. Hit on out with a fireball. However, Beatrice has no more Rhombuses. Once again, even though it's like a bit under half.
She can't cancel that. Yeah, she just gets reaction supered there. And she got one Rhombus back from it, and the DP anti-air is enough to close out the entire round.
I will say, I thought that super would have killed, but it didn't hit the sweet spot near the center, so lost out almost half of its possible damage.
Well, it's possibly the SSBA there, but I don't really know how it was on.
Yeah, me neither. All good though.
He jumps over the DP.
Yeah, allows both. Lots of DPs are coming out. Both players swinging, not trying to let either player take any space in front of them. But the jump,
slide.
yeah, the slide is beaten out, and Yule's getting her full mid-screen combo. Almost pushed into the corner, is now in the corner, and these overheads just keep chipping away
It's another one.
at their health.
And there's the low every time. And I'm pretty sure most of those were counter hits too. It's not like Tiempo was like guessing the wrong on the blocking. He was just pressing buttons. And every time I was getting caught out by the low or the overhead. 3 overheads into a low is, I mean, Vigil's bread and butter, I guess. He's loving to throw out those.
Yeah, managing to guess right on the 50-50 every single, felt like every single time. Just so scary to deal with against Yule. I mean, that overhead's unreactable. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah,
I'm pressing DP. I'm not trying to deal with any of that.
I mean, that was Tiempo's mentality for a lot of the time, and it seemed to work out. But now we're moving on to Vigil versus Beef, which is La Diva. And it'll be very interesting to watch, actually. I'm very interested to see Beef play.
Yeah, Beef trying to take back a spot on winner's side and get the bracket and take the turn off of bracket reset. It's fighting with a vengeance, but the girl's also doing the same thing coming out of losers.
And Vigil's really not letting go of this offense, going for a DP on Wake Up, just pressing everything they can to not let Beef get that momentum. And it's really working out here with a massive conversion coming out. Already a corner combo with the super.
Yeah, an extremely strong way to start off this series. Things are not looking good for Beef right now. Has meter, but with only one brave counter left, which is now spent. He's looking not great for La Diva here, but manages to find the ultimate skill out of the corner and start their own offense. But the jump went so far away that the ultimate skill whiffed.
Yeah, that Wake Up backplay is so threatening because you really can't commit too much on that Wake Up.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a chance that it's immune to grabs, by the way. I mean, I wouldn't know, but if it is, that sounds extremely bad for La Diva, who's already down to 1 Rhombus. Just forced to spend them, as La Diva doesn't have any great defensive options, especially without meter. And the Graveyard is the only thing you can spend to get out of these scary situations.
And there's Beef even blocking the overhead, but not having that like comfort to go off of anything right away. He's waiting out Vigil's parry, and it's looking like this might just be an unfamiliar matchup to him.
And a run-up grab, closes it out. Yule's just getting so many hits in, and finding huge conversions in the corner off of any overhead, any of the lows, or even just random straight hits from her pretty scary buttons, especially with the far medium going so far. But
yeah, it feels like Beef has to spend those Brave counters pretty much every time Vigil uses one of those like backsway plus moves.
but the backsplit is cancelled in the stance and manages to bait out the ultimate skill, and now we're being looped. This ain't Street Fighter 6, but Ladiva manages to get a command grab out. But again, the ult skill's being out in the corner.
It hits too
Why the
high, it
slide back?
doesn't reach UL when she's sliding. And this is a really scary spot for Beef. Overhead is enough to kill.
I mean, this character is just so scary in the corner. I mean, Ladiva is not, even when we tried to armor out the ultimate skill, the slide was just so low that I was unable to hit. And again, Yule's starting off her offense in the corner, and Ladiva's forced to brave counter out, but the slide catches it out, and we're in the same situation all over again.
Oh, there's an auto combo waiting out the parry, getting a solid punish from it, and this is Ladiva's corner carry coming in. This could be, if anything, a solid momentum swing in the favor of Beef. They're choosing to block out this offense, but they find a good counter hit. Oh, but the clash doesn't work out, so they go for an ult skill and get matched on.
Yeah, again, we saw it last game, but we're seeing it again. Vigil is just not letting either of these players get their turn back, and with a parry to call out Beef's pressing buttons, Vigil takes game 2, looking to win this entire tournament.
That's just what you were saying. Beef wanted to get that turn back, but Vigil just went for the parry right then, and it's enough to kill. Vigil's just running such, like, potent rushdown right now.
Yeah, all these buttons are just looking so scary for Ladiva to deal with. I mean, the jump back to really bait out any of her buttons, beats out the command grab, which can be used sometimes in other characters' slow moves, like such a Thor is. But
Yeah, sure.
again, the jump back just beats out the ultimate skill. Things are it's just so hard to get your turn back against Yule right now.
Yeah, I mean, Vigil has that confidence to, like, run up dash medium, run up dash light. But back throw in the corner here, he's still pressing, though. Vigil gets back throw into the corner, and he's still playing like he has that insane lead. But here's a good conversion from Beef. This could be... No, Beef's just choosing to block on that wake up, but he's finding good matches on his own defense. This is... yeah, that's gonna take the round. A few solid hits from Beef. Waiting out Vigil and finding those openings. This is a good swing. This is a good change.
And no matter the matchup, even if things look bad for a grappler, if they can guess right just 2 or 3 times, they're able to take the round. So any time that Vigil is in the corner, it could be it. Because one bad guess is you're losing almost half your health against this character.
I was spot dodging that, but no, Vigil's just pressing buttons way too fast for Beef to contest it. And there's everything Vigil's doing is having this conversion.
But catches out the throw break with their far light. They've eventually go from corner to corner, starting their own offense, but DP from Vigil pushes them out. Again, trying to not let Ladiva get any of her own offense, which is extremely scary for both sides. Both just trying to force their way in. But only one side left has any more brave count or brave points to spend.
Barely not enough to convert. Beef has no ROM buses. He's taking so much damage from these things like overheads and these tiny conversions, and there's a clash into far light. Vigil will take the entire set with some incredible rushdown shown just the whole way through.
Yeah, I mean, Ladiva's slow buttons was really being called out there. Vigil really just pressing their way out of every situation, not trying to give Ladiva any chance to start up her own offense, which, if Ladiva manages to get it off, can be extremely scary.
Yeah, that matchup did look unfortunate. I've never seen it before now, though. All right,
Yeah, I mean,
grand finals. Vigil having a really impressive run so far from what we've seen, taking some very convincing sets, and moving on to play versus Wii, who's weighing in winner's side of grand finals.
I'm very excited for this match. Both these players looking like they are going to have some extremely fast game plans. They can just run over their opponent and just call out everything they try to do. But when they come together, it'll lead to an extremely explosive game from the two of them.
I'm very interested to see it happen, yeah. It could be just both players swinging for the ropes the entire set. Potentially the entire 2 sets, because of bracket reset. And I am down to see it happen.
Yeah, just waiting on we to come to the cabinets. There's life in the lobby. Let it be clear. People are moving around, just waiting. First person to touch the cabinet. We're overstarting, I swear. I'll say I don't really have anything. Yeah, you are great.
You are
I don't have any
great.
major thoughts on the matchup other than what I already said. Two characters that look just kind of force you to keep blocking, just scaring you away with all like they kind of just scare you into blocking, and then they use all their extremely strong like tools on block to open you up.
They both have a lot of those like semi-free but still kind of risky damage where they can get some like unreactable overhead that you just like would rather get hit by
Yeah,
because the alternative is blocking high and the low alternative will do like half your health. They both kind of have that scenario going on with Yule's
sure.
stance and Charlotta's like follow-up dive.
yeah. I'm understanding that it's the command grab.
It
It's always the command grab. It does
is.
800 damage if you're in the corner. But going to as I said, already started out. Both characters throwing out their buttons to go so far, looking to find any free opening. Well, Vidrill's the first one to take the corner, but we presses back. He's spending a brave crown to get out and manages to find some solid mid-screen damage.
Yeah, Vigil's making a lot of use of that backsway into plus frames. It's very, very solid for him. And immediately the ulti comes out and it's baited, but it's not punished because Vigil doesn't have enough time to punish it with the far medium. So he gets away with it now.
Finds the cross up on the jump, but lots of jumps coming out from both players actually. But a baited DP might just be the round. But
Drops the combo though.
the combo is dropped. Barely doesn't get the far heavy in, or is it medium? The
Far
far medium,
medium,
but
right?
still manages to find a conversion off the jab, closing out the round with no armors left.
Hey, if you're spending them to win the round, it's worth.
Yeah, spending your resources is good, kids. Always do it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of jumps coming out from both players. I mean, both of them are extremely scary of each other's grounded options with Charlotta being scary with her spin, and Yule being scary with her jump and like stance heavy. But does find the command grab and pushes Yule into the corner, forcing Vidro to spend look for a DP to get out. Another DP comes out from Wii. I mean, again, both these players just wanting to force their way in, not giving the other person any opportunity to start their own offense.
Yeah, neither are really willing to let the other team get that momentum going. The other side getting that momentum going. And we is just spending the ult Blanca ball just to get in. Honestly, just to get closer for that knockdown. Very interesting to see. Flash into DP. And Vigil is low enough to lose off one hit, but that might be it with the SSBA coming in. The jump in is going to decide this round. And Vigil's taking it for round 3.
That's sad as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a great conversion coming out from Vigil. Going to Super, just close out the round from a bit under half health. I mean, that's what having no Rompus does to you. Super just turns to small little nukes every character has.
It's true. And yeah, that's why I think earlier in that round we got that command grab and chose not to use the Raging Strike to get a conversion, just going for a knockdown instead. Parry on the jump.
Yeah, manages to get out of the corner using the parry, and manages to, because of that, steal the corner back and get their own full combo, looking for a mix. Baits out the Raging Strike, and he finds their own grab, and the blows catch out Vigil, and this is looking like it might just be the game.
Opting for a Raging Chain and the 2 ult skills instead of a super. Going for a it's a good combo, and Vigil's low now. And there's a DP that will connect, and it will end the game.
Extremely good, or extremely fast game 1 coming out from both players. And again, I mean, it's just Rushdown versus Rushdown, guys. This is usually like what people think is like the most fun matchups to watch. Both people just run at each other, trying to have an extremely scary offense. Just take their turns, just being in each other's faces. I mean, again, here's Yule, triple overhead.
4, but that one gets blocked. And... Oh, can you punish it? Is the Brave counter just like automatic? autopilot, or can you actually punish the wolf steps overhead?
I don't think you can. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was plus.
No, it's not flat. It's not flat.
Yeah, well, you never know. Oh, but catches out the jump back with their own old skill. And again, catches out the attempt of a brave counter with lows. Pushes you all the way into the corner. And again, I mean, Wee's just doing a great job of baiting out brave counters and finds a max range grab. To
It caught
close
the
out the
slide.
round.
Vigil wasn't in grab range at the time, but it caught the slide forward. That was very funny.
A very impressive graphing amount, but here's the Yule Blender that we've been seeing through the past couple of games. But Wee's not having any of that. Finds a way out. Uses the parry to call out the buttons and forces Yule into the corner, spending brave counters to keep them in. And now it's time for the Charlotta Blender.
Not quite, because then they get, DP'd and baited in the zone DP. This is a really good situation for Vigil now, when it was looking so grim before. There's the overhead though, goes for the parry, but gets grabbed for a punish. And now Vigil is at chip threshold. This is very dangerous.
Yeah, the
Brave
ult skill
counter.
from Charlotta spent to really force Yule into chip damage, and just like that, Charlotta becomes so scary, you want to kind of send a button from anywhere on the screen, it will just kill on command.
Yeah.
In game 2, looking to not let Vigil get the bracket reset.
And Vigil's not dissuaded at all from this. They're still playing just as fast and aggressive, running just straight forward, holding 6 on round start. So you know this is how they think they can still win. You know this is they're sticking to it
Hey.
because I agree. I think this is what they should do. I agree.
Yeah, okay. Got a game plan? Want to stick to it. But
That's
if
not
no
bad.
adaptations are made, it might be hard for Vigil to find it out, as we seems to have a clean feel in how to play the matchup, and a spot dodge on the Brave counter attempt does find Wee to be put in tournament point. One round away from taking the entire thing.
Arm medium in the Raging Strike, but it didn't convert, so they able to spot dodge, and that's the entire round. Oh, that connected. Saving Vigil for now, but off of that, they're not on a hard knockdown. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, finds a
Parry.
parry to get their way in, but Wee spends the ultimate DP to get their way in. But an attempt from Yule to slide in is caught out by Charlotte, and the parry comes out.
Does side swap, but Wee does find a back throw here, and this could be it. One solid hit will end the entire tournament here, and that might be it. That is Dash Light, and yeah, there's the combo. And Wee will take the entire bracket. 3-0 in Grand Finals, 3-0 in Winners Finals. Very convincing. I don't even know if they dropped a whole game.
Doesn't look like it. Just check the bracket. We not dropping a single game the entire bracket, other than the desync, but like Loki doesn't count.
What a gamer.
Extremely good showing from Wee, showing off how scary Charlotte can be, just forcing her way in with her plus frames and then using her jump to set up almost what feels like an insane 3-way mix-up, because will she overhead? Will she go low? Or will she command grab? I mean...
Yeah, it's a dangerous situation. I mean, Charlotte just has that scary stuff going on, even though, like, even if you do block correctly, we saw it earlier in the set, it does so much chip damage, even if you're blocking, and it puts you, like, if you're already quite low, it puts you in that, like, scary situation, where one hit, even if you're blocking it, just walk up DP, Blanca Ball, anything can just end the round immediately. And you can't really spot dodge all of it.
But congratulations to Wee, and a great showing from everyone who showed up to play in the tournament today. Thank you very much for attending the Bestie Brawl number 4.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on to, I think, Rivals next.
Yeah, Rivals 2 is next, so be sure to stick around and watch that. We'll have Strive right after that too.
Yeah,
GG's everybody.
but goodbye.